welcome everybody in to the 31st Annual All-Star Labor Classic. A good Sunday afternoon as we come to you on News Talk 990, home to the All-Star Labor Classic. We're here on the campus of the University of the Sciences to set the stage for you for what's going to unfold today, and behind the microphone calling all of the action. I'm about ready to anoint him the official voice of all of the best basketball that's played in the city of Philadelphia, including the PCL Basketball Championship. Ari Bluestein joining us again here at courtside for the 31st Annual All-Star Labor Classic. Ari, a good Sunday afternoon, brother.
Thank you for that phenomenal introduction, Joe, and it's great to be here at the University of the Sciences down here in West Philadelphia, and this is going to be a really fun day. We are raising funds for charity, and at the same time we get to see some of the best girls and boys basketball players in the city.
Ari Bluestein and Joe Kraus coming to you from the University of Sciences. As Ari said, we get ready for the ceremonial tip. We got an afternoon of basketball across the JAKIB Media Radio Network on News Talk 990. We come to you this afternoon, and we're glad to be here. This is one of those events where we're calling a basketball game, and we get the ability to enjoy and to watch and see how everything really unfolds. But it really is the meaning behind the basketball game that makes such a big statement this afternoon.
It really does, as we are underway with the opening tip here, and it is the Suburban girls in the light Carolina blue against the City girls in the dark blue. And with it now is number 23, Nia Garrison, and she misses the first shot of the game. Nia Garrison from Monsignor Bonner Archbishop Prendergast High School down in Drexel Hill. And here's a steal by the Suburban girls team, and that was Maura Conroy from Germantown, Gwynn and Mercy, and she dishes it to Mackenzie Gardler, and Gardler with the first points of the game. The O'Hara player and Villanova commit, so 2-0 Suburban, leading over to City here to start things off here in the opening quarter. With it now is number 14, Nija Moody from New Foundations, and dishes it outside. And here's a long two from Britt James from Abington High School. No good, but the offensive rebound by the City squad. And then a shot thrown up by Moody, no good. And now Gardler comes away with a rebound for the Suburbs. Leads up to her high school teammate, Mara Hendrickson, dishes it right back to Gardler. Her three goes in and out. Offensive rebound putback is good from Nia Garrison from Bonner Prendy. 4-0 Suburbs. And City throws it away as James has her pass stolen by Gardler. She goes inside against Erin Morgan of Archbishop Wood and lays it in for two. So an early 6-0 start for the Suburban squad. City team with the basketball. Into the corner it goes. Down low to number 13, Katie May of Archbishop Wood. A drive and one for Celine Tobin from St. Hubert. And she will get a bucket and a chance for the old-fashioned three-point play as the City team finally on the board here with 6:22 remaining here in the opening quarter here at U Sciences. Celine Tobin out of St. Hubert misses it. Offensive rebound tipped out by Katie May, goes all the way out to Nija Moody. Moody out of New Foundations High School. Morgan, the kick out. That went to Tobin, now into the corner. Here's a three by James off the mark, and Kate Connolly out of Souderton, the Drexel commit, with the defensive rebound. Suburbs the other way. The drive, the kick out. It's a Connolly jumper top of the key, a little bit short. Rebound gets deflected to the City team, and Britt James. Outlet up ahead, a little bit too far there for Celine Tobin. And picking it up is Maura Conroy out of Gwynedd Mercy. Gardler, the kick out to her high school teammate Hendrickson, who misses the three. Defensive rebound by Katie May of Archbishop Wood. And the good thing is these girls have played against each other all year, but in a game where this is all about charity, some smiles on the faces of these very competitive players. Katie May, the kick out to Erin Morgan, who spots up for three and drills it. So the Archbishop Wood connection, Katie May to Erin Morgan. And it's a one-point game, 6-5, Suburbs with the lead and the ball. Hendrickson tried to pass it. It was knocked out of bounds by Nija Moody. So it will stay with the Suburban team, 5:11 remaining here in quarter number one. Kick out outside. Goes to Mackenzie Gardler. Into the corner. Here's a three attempt from Garrison. It's short. Moody with a rebound for the City team. Here they go the other way. Moody now up top to Britt James. James with a good crossover, then a kick out. This is a Moody 3. It's a little short. Defensive rebound by Garrison of Bonner Prendy and Mara Hendrickson the other way for the Suburbs. Kicks it to Connolly, her future Drexel Dragon teammate. Now Gardler to Connolly, who airballs a baby jumper. Offensive rebound, Gardler, and Hendrickson drills the 3 off the pass from Gardler. 4-point lead, 9-5. Suburbs over to City. City team with the basketball in the dark blue. Nija Moody. Nice little pick and roll, but the pass attempted to Celine Tobin was knocked out of bounds, and it will stay with the City. Wholesale changes. 10 new players arriving on the floor. For the Suburban team, first time we see Taylor O'Brien, the star from Plymouth Whitemarsh, and Bucknell commit. Molly Massiantonio, Archbishop Carroll player who had a great playoff run and great state run. Number 42, Brianna Cypress from Friends Central. Number 11, Dana D'Ambrosio from Ridley High School, also into the game for the Suburbs. City with the basketball. Number 1, Denisha Wilson from Auden Reed Charter into the game. Bridget Archidiacono, another Archbishop Wood Viking in the game as well. Mackenzie Tinner from Council Rock North High School into the game. As the Suburbs have the basketball, and the first jumper taken by D'Ambrosio from Ridley High School is a little bit too strong, and the City with a defensive rebound. Under 4 to play, so just past the midway point of quarter number 1 here in the 31st Annual All-Star Labor Classic at the University of the Sciences. Archidiacono driving baseline, good pass, kick out. This goes to number 21, Cheryl Ramold from St. Basil Academy. That one's off the back rim from the top of the key. No good. Offensive rebound by Daniel McCurdy. And the City working it around. Archidiacono into the corner to Wilson. And a little bit of a travel there for Wilson. And we'll go back to the Suburban squad. 9-5. Suburbs with the lead over to City. It's been all Catholic League dominated so far. All 14 points have come from players playing in the PCL. With the PCL being in the City and the Suburbs, they've been split up a little bit between the two squads as the corner 3 for the Suburbs taken by Taylor O'Brien is off the mark. Rebound by the City. They're on the run. Nice bounce pass. Archidiacono lays it up and in off the pass from Mackenzie Tinner of Council Rock North. Cuts the lead in half. Suburbs trying to score on the fast break, and they do, as a baby jumper hit and good by Jennifer Kremp of Jenkintown High School into the game for the first time. And as we mentioned, Jenkintown, the Class A small school champion in girls basketball in the state of Pennsylvania. 11-7 is the score. Suburbs with the lead. City with the basketball. We had a foul called on Brianna Cypress out of Friends Central. And it will be an inbound for the City team. Archidiacono now swings it over onto the wing. The cutter is hit. Ramoldi. Great look backdoor and laid up and in by Bridget Archidiacono. Her second bucket. She's got 4. And back to a 2-point lead for the Suburbs. Suburbs have led throughout. They've got the basketball. Massiantonio, step back top of the key, drills it, and it's a 3. Molly Massiantonio hits it, and Suburbs now up 5, 14-9. Cross-court skip pass, Archidiacono, and her pass goes to Juliana Gura from St. Basil. And Mackenzie Turner with that offensive rebound put back. Quickly the other way, O'Brien missing the layup. And the City with a rebound. City down 3, $1:40 to go here in the opening quarter of the All-Star Labor Classic. And all alone in the post and not even realizing it was Gura. And now here's a hook shot. Nice move by Mackenzie Tinner of CR North. That's a 1-point game. Suburbs with the ball and the lead. $1.50 to go here in the opening quarter. O'Brien hits D'Ambrosio. D'Ambrosio going in. The kick out into the corner. It's a Cypress long 2. Rebound bounced around. Eventually comes to Denisha Wilson out of Auden Reed Charter. Nice job leading the fast break. A couple of passes, and Archidiacono drops it in. She's got 6, and the City squad with their first lead of the game, 15-14 with a minute to play. Oh, and that is very short-lived, as hanging back door is Jennifer Kremp, dropping it in for 2 off a nice pass. 16-15. Suburbs back in front, under a minute remaining here in the first quarter. Denisha Wilson. Kick out. Ramoldi. Now Archidiacono, and she tried to pass it into the corner to Wilson. It was knocked out of bounds by Plymouth Whitemarsh Colonial Taylor O'Brien.
36 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
Tinner. Oh, and it's a steal by O'Brien. And she's going to coast in for the layup, but she missed it. Easy, too, and O'Brien probably wants that one back. City with the basketball, down 1. 20 seconds to go here in the first quarter. And that pass underneath is stolen again by Taylor O'Brien on the pass by Archidiacono. Now going up ahead, and a double dribble is called on Jennifer Kremp, the Jenkintown Drake and Class A state champ. 12 and a half seconds remaining here in quarter number 1. City gets the ball back. They are down by 1. Jogging it up the floor is Denisha Wilson. Kicks it into the corner, Archidiacono. 4 seconds, 3. She drives in. Kick out. Wilson around O'Brien, puts it up at the horn, no good. And that will end the first quarter with the Suburbs leading the City 16-15 here in the 31st Annual All-Star Labor Classic.
All right, Ari, good job on that opening. And welcome in, everyone. It's the 34th Annual All-Star Labor Classic across the JAKIB Media Network. The Annual All-Star Labor Classic has returned after the craziness of the pandemic, of course, postponed the game a year ago. Wayne Miller now joining.
Kids participating in the game, but that didn't stop the charity from going forward. We raised $150,000 last year, similar to what we raised this year. But it's based on the kids playing. That's the whole program here, and it was a shame last year, but we're back in business this year.
Boy, you can really feel the energy and the excitement here. We're bringing you the game from Ridley High School. Tell us a little bit about that story,
Okay.
how we got here.
Well, how we got here is first we were supposed to play at Germantown Academy, but no parents were allowed to come in under the social distancing. That's their rules. So then we went to Holy Family College, and they were closed down. And then Ro Falcone, who helps with the All-Star Labor Classic for years, she's the coach at Ridley, and she said she would try to see if she can get it at Ridley High School. And Ro and Allison put that together, and here we are.
No doubt about it.
It's great. The kids are allowed to have their parents here, and to see them play. You know, they're probably some of them in their final game, and it's very, very exciting. But we have a lot of people pulling to help us with this charity, and thank God for Ro Falcone and Allison, too, what they did. It was just great, Joe.
Yeah, but just to give the listening audience and those viewing the game across the JAKIB Media Network on YouTube, we have a lot of activity planned throughout the day. We're going to introduce you momentarily to my Meet the Athlete, Meet the All-Star segments. I did that all week. Wow, there are some great athletes playing in this game.
There's no doubt about it. We have athletes in this game that are all Catholic players that are going to college for another sport. I mean, this is how good these kids are. And the girls' game is basically the best game in my girls' basketball game into the charity game. It really lifted us. And this is, I guess they must be in over 20, 25 years now. And it really took our All-Star charity game up to another level. And it's super, Joe.
Yeah,
super.
Well done, well stated. I want to high school's all-time leading scorer. We'll introduce you to her in just a moment. Before we do that, I want to give you just an opportunity out in television land.
Okay.
Is Dennis Hill, a man that has basketball in his blood, not able to be here. He is here in spirit, not able to physically be here. He's listening to the game. We've got some surprises for him.
Basketball. He runs the oldest basketball association in the country, the Markwell Club. And I spoke to Dennis this morning. Unfortunately, he can't make it. He's under the weather a little bit. But he called today, and for him not to be able to be here is actually broke his heart. And but I want to give a great shout out with Dennis. If we didn't have Dennis, we won't be able to have the players selected, because he does such a great job with it, because he goes to about 200 basketball games a year, and he sees every player that's out on his court. And He's a North Catholic guy. He played on the 67
He's a
championship
tough old guy
team.
too, dude. He's a tough guy.
And, you know, his heart and soul's in this game. And I just want to shout out to Dennis. Thanks, Den, for all you do. And we expect to see you back next year. Thanks, pal.
Great stuff here from Wayne Moe. It's the 34th Annual All-Star Labor Classic presented by the Philadelphia Building Trades. We're broadcasting to you live from Ridley High School. We're going to break now, and I'm going to introduce you to Springfield High School's all-time leading scorer in one of my 5 sit-downs with Meet the All-Stars. And welcome in, everyone, to a special edition of the High School Sports Show presented by the Philadelphia Building Trades. It's time for the 34th Annual All-Star Labor Classic, and it's our special over the last couple of nights leading up to the All-Star Labor Classic. It's our Meet the Athletes who are participating and playing in the All-Star Labor Classic. And for most of the competing athletes, it represents their final high school basketball game of their basketball career in high school. And we kick it off, or tip it off rather, with a great guest for our first guest tonight. Alexa Abenizio joins us from Springfield High School, the all-time leading scorer in Springfield High School history. Alexa, wow, that is impressive.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know, in my preparation for the interview, I want you to comment about the night that became a reality, because I saw and I read some great quotes from you, and I was moved by your ability to attribute the success to former players and also current players on your roster.
Yeah, I mean, that night of the game, I got off to like a slow start. I didn't get it. I just needed 5 points. I got it in like the beginning of the second quarter. But like you said, like the contributing to the former players and players that I played with this season, I couldn't have gotten it done without any of them. I mean, they're the ones that are helping me get the ball, helping me score, running plays for me. So they've really played a big part in me getting the record.
Tell me what it was like to get that record in a strange year that was fueled by the pandemic and COVID-19, and it restricted big crowds, it restricted celebrations, and it was a completely different experience, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, we got shut down 3 weeks in the beginning of the season. When we went back for like preseason, we got shut down again for 3 weeks. So all of us were like rocky as if we were even going to have a season. So just to be able to beat the record in a pandemic like this is just, it's like a great feeling. I mean, our ADs, they let me have my friends and family there. Obviously we limited how many I could have, but they were pretty generous on how many people I could have. So just being able to be there with the team and have my friends and family there, that's really all I wanted. I mean, it's how it would have been if I got the record, not in a pandemic. So as long as like I had my friends and family there, it was just a great feeling.
I know the one picture that circulated and that is still out there, and perhaps you have many, many copies of that picture, is you right smack center in the middle, the banner announcing you as the all-time leading scorer for Springfield High School. Alexa, that's amazing. I mean, do you still look back to that moment and think about it?
Yeah. As soon as I hit it, I got it on a 3. I previously hit 2 free throws before that. And when I got it on the 3, you know, like the whole team came crashing in, celebrating with me. It was a great feeling. They were so happy for me. Like I was obviously happy for myself, but just seeing them be happy for me is like really what sent it over the edge.
I want to transition now to the playing for you, playing in the All-Star Labor Classic. And yes, you get an opportunity to play another basketball game with a $50,000 check will be presented to MS, the Multiple Sclerosis Society of Philadelphia. And that in itself, Alexa, is just an amazing thing.
Yeah. I don't really play versus like people from like the Philly area. Like I don't play in the Catholic League, obviously, but just to be able to even be on the floor with some of those women is just, it's going to be a great feeling. And just to be in that atmosphere, whole different change of game. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, we're excited to have you play in the 34th annual All-Star Labor Classic. What are your plans? Alexa, what have you decided? Where will you play, or where will you go to college?
I'll play at the University, Westchester University. I don't know what I'm majoring in yet, but yeah, I'll play at Westchester, do 4 years there.
Are you excited to stay close to home and be able to play, here in the Delaware Valley?
We travel a little bit, but most of the schools that will play aren't really far from where I live, so they'll be able to travel and just support me because I'll be close to home. So
it's our special edition of Meet the Athletes from the All-Star Labor Classic, the 34th annual All-Star Labor Classic. We're in a great conversation with Alexa Abenizio, the all-time leading scorer of Springfield High School. And Alexa will hold that record until the next great star, Alexa, comes through. Any idea how long that record will hang or that record will stay?
I have no idea. I think there's like a good group of girls coming up, but if they get it, they get it. We'll just see what happens. And if they do get it, I'll be happy for them. And
tell me about the record that you surpassed. You actually played, I believe you actually played with the record.
I was a sophomore. She kind of got it towards like the end, the beginning of her senior year. And then she started racking up the points and stuff. So I got it my senior year at the end. So it's kind of about the same.
Good stuff from Alexa Abenizio. Congratulations on all of your great success. And on behalf of the Philadelphia Building Trades and on behalf of MS, the Multiple Sclerosis Society of Philadelphia, Alexa, cheers to you and to all your teammates who will play in this game for playing in a very meaningful game.
Thank you.
Decisions. The dark.
Special edition of the High School Sports Show presented by the Philadelphia Building Trades as we bring you our Meet the Athletes who are participating in the 30.
Welcome to the Wildwoods, the perfect place where you can safely do everything or nothing at all. Catch a wave, take a nap, go for a drive, grab a bite. It's your vacation, and we're doing everything we can to make it a safe one. The Wildwoods. Your vacation, your way.
I get scared sometimes.
Of a lot of things.
Joining in.
Decisions.
The dark.
The dark.
But I once heard someone say,
but as I always say,
it's okay to be afraid.
As long as you face the fear.
And keep moving forward.
Wherever you are in life, count on the name trusted in insurance for over 80 years. Independence Blue Cross.
Welcome to the Wildwoods, the perfect place where you can safely do everything or nothing at all. Catch a wave, take a nap, go for a drive, grab a bite. It's your vacation, and we're doing everything we can to make it a safe one.
Under the 34th annual All-Star Labor Classic as we come to you from Ridley High School across the JAKIB Media Network, calling all of the action today courtside Chris Markowitz and Mike Gibson already settled in for all the action. Chris, over to you, sir.
Joe, thank you so much for the introduction. Mike, we got some exciting stuff. Chris Markowitz alongside Michael Gibson, and it's the Suburban League teams, or the Suburban teams, taking on the city teams today. So we get to see some cross action. We don't normally
game for a lot of these kids they play, and it's a little different than most all-star games because they're representing their school for the last time. And in some cases, in 3 of the schools today, we have players from Hallahan, St. Basil's, and Bishop McDevitt representing their schools for the last time because all 3 schools are closing, which is very sad. But I would like to focus on number 1, Asha Milburn from Hallahan. I did coach at Hallahan in 2008 and 2009, and it's the oldest and Catholic League girls team in the country and school in the country. And it's just a sad occasion that they're closing, but I would love to see a good game out of number 1, Asha Milburn, again, representing her school at Hallahan High School, which is one of the 3 schools that are out here for the last time.
The building in Hallahan opened since 1911. The program with its origins as early as 1901, to your point, one of the more historic high schools in the country, the first ever Catholic girls high school, all Catholic girls high school in the United States. As we're about 13 minutes out from the tip here, so we'll just briefly go through the rosters. First for the Suburban girls squad, coached by Ro Falcone, Coach Falcone, the head coach here at Ridley High School, and she has done an excellent job for them in the Central League. She has led them recently to the 2020 league championship title. And as we go through the Suburban team, they're highlighted by Alexa Abenizio, one of her school's all-time leaders in scoring.
Yeah, she comes from a big sports family. I've known them over the years. Her uncle Chris, I believe, is a quarterback at West Catholic High School, and just a great family from the St. Calis's area, West Philadelphia, which is another one of them old CYO programs that is not in existence anymore. But she comes from a big family history of athletes. I'm looking for a big game out of her, especially with the new blue and white ball that they're going to be using for today. I think seeing her launch up a couple threes will be very exciting.
A great scorer in her own right. She recently passed this year Jordan D'Ambrosio to become the all-time leading scorer in the history of Springfield High School. So want to see what she can do on the offensive end. And a couple Cardinal O'Hara kids out on the court. Amaris Baker, along with her teammate and state champion partner Savani Boylan. They led Cardinal O'Hara to the state title this year. And they got a cool shout out on the congressional floor the other day. Congresswoman Mary Gay Scanlon gave them a shout out. So that's got to be a cool moment to be a senior in high school, win a state title, and then hear somebody of that nature call you out on such a big stage.
It had to be a big thrill for those kids. One of the premier basketball programs in the country, Cardinal O'Hara has been for a long time. I was good friends with longtime coach Linus McGinney, who was such a great help to me when I was coaching in high school. And shout out to him, but they have such a great tradition. So any all-star team that has any kids from Cardinal O'Hara playing on it, they're probably going to do some good things today.
O'Hara, a program, to your point, great history, great recent history. Hannah Nihill and Maura Hendrickson, players playing at Drexel right now. Kenzie Gardler at Villanova, along with Mary Sheehan at St. Joseph's. We take a look at some of the players on the city roster. You already mentioned Asha Milburn. I'm looking at Destiny McFall from West Catholic, who was the 2021 Max Prep Pennsylvania Player of the Year, the MVP in the Philadelphia Catholic League on the girls' side of things. She's a dynamic player headed to Virginia next year, can really do it all for West Catholic.
Another old-time school that's been around for a long time. They, along with Hallahan, played in the first women's game, I believe, back in 1939 at a sold-out palestra. So a lot of basketball history at West Catholic, and she is as good as anybody that ever laced them up for the Lady Burrs. And again, looking for some exciting things from her today in her last game representing West Catholic.
And let me correct myself, headed to Virginia Tech, where she will play under Kenny Brooks. Kenny Brooks in his 6th year at Virginia Tech next year. Longtime head coach at JMU before that, helped turn the Dukes program around. And McFall will be playing today alongside her West Catholic teammate, Siani Montgomery. Montgomery helped lead that squad to the PIAA 3A championship game, and she scored 34 points at Hershey on 14 of 18 shooting. So alongside McFall, who's arguably one of the best players in the country, when you get a performance like that from a teammate, West Catholic, just an easy victory in the finals at Hershey Park. They took home the title. As we go through this roster here, still about 10 minutes away from game time, just looking at some of the other players. And one I'm looking at is Luca Varello out of Archbishop Ryan, a 3-sport athlete, plays basketball but also lacrosse and soccer, has a great touch as an outside shooter. And as we go through this roster, anybody else that comes to mind for you, Michael?
I know I saw a lot of Siani Posey from McDevitt. McDevitt had a disappointing year as far as a basketball record-wise, but as far as their kids, and led by Siani, sticking together, knowing their school was in danger of closing, and never giving up and playing their hardest all year. I think that says a lot about the person and player Siani is, and her teammates at Bishop McDevitt. So really, shout out to them for sticking through everything in a tough year. Like I said, record-wise, and also knowing that the school was in jeopardy of closing. The fact that you stuck together with your teammates, I think that's something that's going to kick back on them in life years later. And even though their record wasn't that great, I think they're going to look back on it with very great memories.
Well, another school that unfortunately will be closing at the end of the year is St. Basil Academy. They were led this year by Danae Carter, who is going to be headed to Mississippi State next year. Carter averaged 21 points and 12 rebounds per game this year. She won the Catholic Academic League MVP as just a junior. There's a 1,000-point scorer there. And there's a couple other players from St. Basil, Shannon Ramoldi, along with Riley Scannell, So St. Basil represented in their final year as a program here today.
They had a great year under Coach Terry Mancini. They could have had 6 players on this roster, if not more. They had a really, really great team, and in the last couple of years, their program has done really well. Also from St. Basil, a shout-out to former Labor Classic player Natalie Kikowski, St. Basil graduate who was drafted in the WNBA just this week. So we're looking forward to see Natalie Kikowski in the WNBA, one of our Labor Classic alumni.
Casey Cianco representing Neshaminy High School for the City squad. Cianco will be attending Kutztown University next year, a 2-sport athlete at Neshaminy. And she's going to Kutztown not to play basketball, but as a long jumper, so a great athlete out of Neshaminy.
Yeah, Neshaminy, another high school with a long history of excellence in all sports. So it's no shocker that they have somebody like her playing today. So looking forward to some good things with her. Maybe we'll have our first dunk in the Labor Classic All-Star game.
Well, we're moments away from tip-off, and Joe Krause is standing on the sidelines for a hit. Joe, what do you got for us?
Great stuff. Great open from Chris Markowitz and Mike Gibson. Of course, they'll be bringing us all of the action. And if you're watching on News Talk 990 or listening on the stream across the JAKIB Media Network, we thank everybody for tuning in. The 34th Annual All-Star Labor Classic. A little bit later on today, the $150,000 donation, the check raised, of course, by the Philadelphia Building Trades. We'll talk about that. We'll talk with Ro Falcone, the coach, who will join us here courtside. But right now, we'll take a 2-minute break. You're listening to the 34th Annual All-Star Labor Classic, presented by the Philadelphia Building Trades.
I get scared sometimes.
Of a lot of things.
Joining in.
Decisions.
The dark.
The dark.
But I once heard someone say,
But as I always say,
it's okay to be afraid.
as long as you face the fear.
And keep moving forward.
Wherever you are in life, count on the name trusted in insurance for over 80 years. Independence Blue Cross.
Welcome to the Wildwoods, the perfect place where you can safely do everything or nothing at all. Catch a wave, take a nap, go for a drive, grab a bite. It's your vacation, and we're doing everything we can to make it a safe one.
I get scared sometimes.
Of a lot of things.
Joining in.
Decisions.
The dark.
The dark.
But I once heard someone say,
But as I always say,
it's okay to be afraid.
as long as you face the fear.
And keep moving forward.
Wherever you are in life, count on the name trusted in insurance for over 80 years. Independence Blue Cross.
Welcome to the Wildwoods, the perfect place where you can safely do everything or nothing at all. Catch a wave, take a nap, go for a drive, grab a bite. It's your vacation.
House with the 34th Annual All-Star Labor Classic. Ro Falcone is coaching. She's a star in Delaware County. She's a star here at Ridley. Ro, really energizing, exciting feeling here at Ridley High School today.
It's awesome. I'm really excited to be coaching one more time here with these kids, and a great group, both Suburban and the City Girls. A lot of talent here today.
Yeah, as you mentioned on the radio show last night when we had you on and Coach Kevin on the radio program, both rosters loaded up with a lot of great talent.
A lot of great talent, a lot of kids that are playing at the next level, so excited to coach them, and I think it's going to be a great game.
All right, good stuff from Ro Falcone. I'll let you get back and coach. We'll take that off.
Thank you.
There you go. I will toss it over. Courtside today is Chris Markowitz and Mike Gibson. We'll toss back to Chris and Mike. Chris, take it away, sir.
Thank you so much, Joe. A nice little interview there with Coach Falcone, and we talked about Coach Falcone in the open, Michael, but on the flip side, coaching the City Girls is Dave Schaefer. He's done a great job at St. Hubert's in his tenure there.
Yes, he led them to a great season. I believe they had an undefeated regular season this year at St. Hubert. Dave's a longtime basketball and softball coach and teacher at St. Hubert. Very popular, one of the best human beings you'll meet in high school sports. Just always about the players, and he does a great job promoting St. Hubert's and the St. Hubert community. And but he's competitive, so he's probably planning already to see how he can come up with a win against this Suburban team, even though it's an all-star game. And Ro Falcone's probably in the same boat, even though it's an all-star game. Both of them want to win. It's their last game before next year, so I'm going to look for an exciting game from both of them.
And to your point, he's got one of his own playing in this game from St. Hubert's, Peyton Pugh, who comes from a family of athletes. The Pugh sisters, Mackenzie and Charlotte, her sisters, they were all dancers before playing basketball. And just doing our research, there was a couple cool articles on how when they were about in the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, they realized that they liked the sport of basketball, transitioned, and the footwork really paid off. So cool to see one of the sisters out there today, Peyton Pugh, representing St. Hubert's and playing under her own head coach.
That's awesome. You always like to hear girls that got into the sport late, and it's really a lesson to a lot of girls that sometimes give up playing 4th and 5th grade because they're not the best player yet. And I think girls develop a lot different than boys do. I always say if you like the game, even if you don't play at your school, just keep playing, because you never know. All of a sudden in 7th and 8th grade, 9th grade, you go, you know what, I kind of danced, I did gymnastics, I did swimming, I kind of like basketball, and you're still not behind the 8 ball where you can stick it out and make a mark on your school. So I think it's great for her to be representing her family today.
Well, Michael, I think you make a good point there, too. And we were talking about this before we even came on the air. The difference in terms of the development on the boys' side and the girls' side. For a lot of girls who are great natural athletes, they can make that transition a little bit later. So obviously we've got some great all-stars out on the floor here today who will be great role models for the next generation. But knowing your coaching background, what advice do you give out to any of those young girls who are watching this, trying to get inspiration from what they see on the floor today?
I think a lot of it is you just have to play and get as much repetition as you can, whether it's with a club team, an AAU team. I know a lot of people get caught up in you have to play against top flight competition. I'm not a big believer in that, especially on the girls' side. I just think you need to play. And it's like a lot of soccer coaches teach it, and I think it relates to basketball. The more touches you get, whether it's passing, dribbling, shooting, and then playing on the defensive side, I think you're going to improve. If you handle the ball 30 times a day in practice, you're going to get better every day. And it's going to make you the best player you can be. You know, and again, it's all about repetition and practice. I think some of the best players I've known go to courts by themselves. And, you know, I think it's just if you like the game, don't give up on it too early. If you like the game, just keep playing it. And I'm sure there's a lot of girls in this game that weren't the best players at their school and at their club teams in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. Some of them are late bloomers, and that's why you're...
All right, good stuff again from Chris Markowitz and Mike Gibson as we broadcast you live, of course, at Ridley High School. We're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to get the girls' game underway. It's the 34th Annual All-Star Labor Classic, presented by the Philadelphia Building Trades. Back in a moment.
I get scared sometimes.
Of a lot of things.
Joining in.
Decisions.
The dark.
The dark.
But I once heard someone say,
But as I always say,
it's okay to be afraid.
as long as you face the fear.
And keep moving forward.
Wherever you are in life, count on the name trusted in insurance for over 80 years. Independence Blue Cross.
Welcome to the Wildwoods, the perfect place where you can safely do everything or nothing at all. Catch a wave, take a nap. Go for a drive, grab a bite. It's your vacation, and we're doing everything we can to make it a safe one. The Wildwoods. Your vacation, your way.
I get scared sometimes.
Of a lot of things.
Joining in,
Decisions,
the dark.
the dark.
But I once heard someone say,
But as I always say,
it's okay to be afraid
as long as you face the fear.
and keep moving forward.
Wherever you are in life, count on the name trusted in insurance for over 80 years. Independence Blue Cross.
Services.
Welcome back into the 34th Annual All-Star Labor Classic, presented by the Philadelphia Building Trades. Happy that you're joining us here on 990 AM, as well as across JAKIB Media Network. Chris Markowitz alongside Michael Gibson. And Michael,
See, longtime announcer Mark Frock Carfagno, great friend. He's been involved in high school sports for a long, long time, and great to see him at the mic today also.
City Girls roster being announced right now as they are dressed in the blue uniforms, coached by Dave Schaefer from St. Hubert's. And we touched on them a little bit in the open. Their highlight players are Destiny McFall out of West Catholic, along with Danae Carter. But this is a deep roster for both teams, and excited to see what these players can do, particularly in an all-star game setting.
I think in the past they used to practice a couple times before this game. I think obviously in COVID situations, I'm assuming they did not have any practices together. But again, you know, girls are different than boys when they play. They're not looking for themselves. They're looking to share with their teammates. So I still think the lack of practice isn't going to hurt. I still think you're going to see a lot of good teamwork and a lot of passing in this game too.
Starting lineups being announced, and excuse me, this is actually the Suburban Girls in the blue. Kylie McNichols, the first starter. And we will take you through the starting lineups. Rachel Conran, another starter out of Springfield, wearing jersey number 5 today. Alexa Abenizio, also from Springfield, gets the start. And the 5th starter from Villa Maria Academy is Ali Trebolev. And the Suburban Girls, coached by Ro Falcone, who is comfortable here at Ridley High School. This is her friendly confines, the school she coaches during the regular campaign. And we talked a little bit about this a few moments ago, but just what's the difference in approach between a regular season basketball game and an all-star game, Michael? How would these athletes approach this differently given the all-star game context?
Well, I think they know, even though most of them are their best players on their own team, they know they're not going to play the whole game. And although these players probably put 100% out when they play, I think when you know you're only getting a couple minutes at a time, I think you're going to see some really great short bursts of energy, you know, and skills at the same time, because they know they're going to get 5 minutes and then they're going to be out to get a little bit of a break. And I also think, you know, kids like meeting new people, so I think sometimes it's fun to make a pass to somebody for a layup that you really never even met until you walked on the court today. I think that's kind of the cool thing about basketball in an all-star game.
Well, what's cool about it, too, is a lot of these players on the floor have competed against one another and have been rivals over the last couple of seasons, have played each other in district or state playoff games and lost or beaten one another in big moments. So to have the chance to share the floor, what does that do for you, and how does that change the relationships you have with players throughout your league as you progress towards college?
I think it's a big help to the players, most of them who are going to go on to play in college. You know, sometimes you're in their little cocoon of your high school team for 4 years, and you realize most of the other players are just like you know, and you realize when you play in an all-star game like that, I was really comfortable with that girl. I like the way she passed, I like the way she rebounded. Well, now it kind of helps you confidence where you're going into high school or college career where you don't know a lot of people, but this gives you some experience in doing that.
Well, we are moments away from tip-off here And Joe Kraus, standing by on the sidelines. Joe, send it back to you.
It's awful quiet here in the gymnasium right now. Let me just adjust my audio right there. It's way, way hot. There we go. The starting lineup's just being announced, and we're getting ready to break for the national anthem, so stand by for that. Back in a moment.
And you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed after the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of
The girls' game, the very best girls from the city versus the best girls from the suburbs will compete in a basketball game. $150,000 will be raised. We'll tell you about that coming up at halftime of Game 1. Right now, I'll turn the controls back over. Chris Markowitz and Mike Gibson all standing by courtside to bring you the 34th Annual All-Star Labor Classic. Chris, down to you, sir.
Joe, thank you. And Michael, moments away from tip-off now as the City Girls squad dressed in red. They will be going right to left on your screen if you're following along with us on JAKIB Media Network. The Suburban Girls dressed in blue going left to right. Happy to have you with us. Officials for today's game, for the girls' game, are Bob Adams, Bob Frazier, and Darren Vogelman. As we've got Lindsay Boyd jumping center for the Suburban Girls. And this a ceremonial tip. So a nice
tip. The girls are over there signing the basketball for our friend Dennis Hill, and we want to shout out Dennis and wish him the best of luck in his health issues. But see it over, kids signing the ball for Dennis, I'm sure will be a big thrill for him, and we can't wait to go see him in person with it.
And now the official tip, and a reminder, we're playing 20 minutes, 2 halves of 20 minutes, as the tip is won by the City Girls, and we are underway in the 34th Annual All-Star Labor Classic as the first shot of the game off the mark by Casey Cianco. Rebound goes to the City squad. Cianco out of Neshaminy High School in the high post. Gets the ball back on a give and go from Dolan. Cianco barrels into 2 defenders, but the ball stripped away. Ali Treblev came away with the steal. On the other end, a corner triple too strong. And that was an open look in the corner for Lindsay Boyd out of Ridley High School, but left it strong as on the other end, Dolan's 3 is short. So the nerves out early today in the All-Star game as the Suburban Girls go back down the other end, and this jump shot is pure. So the bucket by Kylie McNicholas as she gets Suburban squad on the scoreboard first. Excuse me.
One of my big pet peeves when you're playing in a big gym for the first time, you don't need your 3 right away. McNicholas did the right thing, took that 12-footer. Now she'll be able to move back next time and be more comfortable.
City Girls with the basketball now. Good ball movement. Up top, that's Villa Maria High School. On the other end, a 3 for Abenizio is off. So that's a couple shots now we've seen catch air.
If I was coaching right now, I'd already be calling a timeout.
It's a 2-0 lead for the Suburban squad with 18 minutes and 22 seconds to go in the first quarter as we've got a travel on the baseline here. Travel is on number 7, Peyton Pugh.
Great job with the national anthem by DJ Fran McIntyre Jr. No stranger to athletics himself. His grandmother played at West Catholic, and his mother played for Hallahan High School. So good to see Fran Jr. today, and he's from a well-represented family of athletes.
McNicholas swings to the right wing. That's Conran. Rachel Conran from Springfield High School. The Suburban girls working with the ball in the half court. Conran back up top. Good ball movement here as that's McNicholas feeds the post. Gets it back, tries a three, and her look no good. Rebound hauled in by the City squad.
Shot was right there. She's gonna hit some of them later on.
On the other end now, Milburn dribbles at the top of the key, goes around a screen, now swings. And now a player on the drive for the City Girls, and that was Scannell, who had a good look at a layup but missed the bunny.
Rachel Conran with the rebound brings it up herself.
Conran with good ball handling skills. There's a baseline drive here by Treblev. She kicks for Conran, and she misses the runner. Lid on the coast to coast for the layup. Alexa Abenizio, the all-time leading scorer at Springfield. And she's got her first bucket of the day. The City Girls still looking for their first basket. Strong drive by Scannell, and she is foul. Oh, excuse me, they get Conran with it. Boyd and Conran in the area, but Conran credited with the infraction. And the first free throw for Riley Scannell of St. Basil Academy, no good. 16 minutes, 44 seconds to play here in the first half as the Suburban Girls lead the City Girls 4-0. Second free throw off the mark, and the rebound is deflected out of play by Ali Treblev of the Suburban team, so it will stay on this side of the floor.
Let's see if Coach Schaefer has something cooked up for his inbounds play here.
It'll be Cienko to inbound, and she finds Milburn in the right corner. Milburn tries to split a double team, but it's stolen by Lindsey Boyd. Treblev leads the offense down to the other end of the floor. Up top, Boyd thought about the three, finds a teammate, Conran. Her three no good, but the follow for Lindsey Boyd.
Great effort on the rebound. Nobody was really boxing out. You know, you're not sure who the kids are yet that you're playing against, just as like playing on your team. So sometimes that's going to happen in a game like this.
And now a steal by McNicholas. A one-on-one on the other end. Her layup falls, and an 8-0 advantage for the Suburban Girls with 16 minutes to play in the first half.
Great defense and shot by Kylie.
Milburn tries a hook shot. That's swatted away by Boyd. Lindsey Boyd leads the break. Conran slows down into the half court. Abenizio tries a triple, and it's too strong. Floorboard, and it's hauled in by Scannell, who's fouled on the rebound. And it's a running clock, by the way. That 20-minute clock will move, barring timeouts here today.
Great hustle by Scannell on that play. That's what she did all 4 years at St. Basil. She was always on the floor.
8-0 lead for the Suburban Girls. The City Girls with the ball, looking for their first bucket of the day. That's Pugh. She swings up top. First bucket of the day for the City Girls, and it goes off the hand of Reagan Dolan out of Bonner Prendy.
Longtime coach Tom Stewart, another great person in high school sports.
The Suburban Girls work in the half court now. Conran up top, dribbles right, and she kicks for Abenizio. Alexa Abenizio, no good on the runner. The rebound hauled in by Dolan. And she'll lead the break.
Some of her ball handling skills. She's used to shooting a lot of threes, but doing a great job.
Oh, Cienko with a beautiful spin, but missed the layup. That was a great move, though.
Yes.
On the other end, a layup off the hook shot for Boyd. Set up well by Conran, and the Suburban Girls in complete control with 14 minutes and 23 seconds to play in the first half, ahead by 8, as a layup falls on the other end for Peyton Pugh. 10-4 is the score. Treblev on the right wing, kicks up top for McNicholas. Kylie McNicholas around a screen. Now Conran at the top of the arc, spins off a defender into the paint, kicks into the corner. Good ball movement here, but the pass on the baseline swatted out of bounds by Peyton Pugh.
Great defense by Peyton Pugh. She was known for that at St. Hubert's throughout her career.
So it'll be an inbound from the baseline for the Suburban squad. Avenizio will get it in. And she finds Conrad for an easy layup, and a timeout taken by the City squad with 13 minutes and 37 seconds to play here in the first half. The Suburban girls in complete control.
Little advantage, the Ridley girls are playing together, and right there, passed by both Springfield Delco players, led to a layup. So good teamwork by team players that are familiar with each other. But I think as the game goes on, I think the kids will get more comfortable with each other.
And it was a timeout for some wholesale substitutions, so 10 new players on the floor here for both teams. The Suburban girls ahead 12-4. Strong drive here. Triple for Bella Arcuri, but she's off the mark. Carter hauls in the floorboard, goes the other way, kicks to the corner. Farello 4-3, got them all. Luca Farello out of Archbishop Ryan with the bucket, and the lead for the Suburban girls is cut to 5. And she hands off, and that's Baker who answers with a triple of her own.
With the sight line, so we're going to see some shots going down.
And the City squad offensively with the ball, trailing by 8. Baker with a beautiful find, and the layup falls. Trying to get a jersey number. That looked like it was Sienna Posey out of McDevitt. As the layup on the other end for Moss, no good. And here comes the City squad. Ramoldi doesn't fall. Excuse me, that was Destiny McFall out of West Catholic. Her shot no good, but the ball deflected out of play by the Suburban squad, so we'll stay on the City side of the floor. Carter with the up fake, but no good on the lay-in.
Good move down low, just a tough shot.
Second triple of the day for her. She's got 6 points to lead all scorers as the Suburban girls back ahead by 9 with 11:28 to play in the first half. And this layup on the other end doesn't fall for Timony Lamplu, but she is fouled and will head to the stripe. Amaris Baker going off. She is headed to Kennesaw State in Georgia next year. She helped lead Cardinal O'Hara to the PIAA 5A state championship game, and she's knocked down a couple triples today as the first free throw for Lamplu.
Great year for Cardinal O'Hara, looking for some really good things for her in her college career.
Lamplu at the line, shooting the second of her 2 free throws. And she gets the roll as the lead is down to 7 for the Suburban girls. It's an 18-11 advantage for them with 11 minutes and 9 seconds to play in the first half. As a three-pointer from the corner doesn't fall. Good look there for the Suburban girls. On the other end, a nice layup opportunity, but it's blocked. For a moment, Farello was open, but she got City girls with the ball. It'll be Carter to get it in. And she kicks up top. Three-pointer on the way, no good. But Carter follows and doesn't get the roll on the putback. Baker leads the break, enters the lane, tries a runner, but that's too strong. And here comes the City squad quickly down to the other end of the floor. McFall splits the defense but loses it. Loose ball picked up by Baker, who's all alone for the layup. And she puts it in to push the lead to 20-11 in favor of the Suburban squad. Carter wide open, and that falls for an easy layup.
Luca Varela on the pass, very good look. Like I said, it's an all-star game. It's a little bit different. You see a lot more passing than you do in most all-star games. Nice shot.
A long triple there by Shannon Hinchy. That was out of rhythm, but she knocked it down with room to spare. A pure three-point ball. Hinchy, one of 4 Ridley players playing today, and it's got to feel good for Ro Falcone coaching so many of her own players here in this all-star game.
Absolutely, and it's a testament to the year that they had also.
As this fadeaway jump shot, no good for Timone LePew, but she draws another foul and heads back to the stripe for the second time today. Foul is on Shannon Hinchy. That's her first and the team's second. It's a 10-point advantage for the Suburban team with 9:25 to go. The clock is stopped here in the first half. First free throw falls for Lampew. She's hit all 3 she has taken today. Timone Lampew, a 2-sport athlete who plays basketball and softball at Nazareth Academy. Hits both free throws, and the lead back down to 8. On the other end, 3-point opportunity for a moment, but Baker feeds the post now. That's Hinchy outside. Good movement. Moss
Nice
to the
teamwork.
corner. The three-pointer is pure. And an 11-point lead after Chauvin Boylan knocked down the three. Boylan out of O'Hara. So Danae Carter at the free throw line shooting 2. And that triple by Boylan, her first of the day. We've seen her teammate at O'Hara, Amaris Baker, hit a couple triples. And what a combination they were for O'Hara this season.
What a great season. Like I said in the beginning, such a long history of basketball at Cardinal O'Hara. Great players, great coaches. Just not surprising to see their players doing well here today.
Carter missed the first free throw and now no good on the second as the Suburban girls stay ahead by 11. A steal on Baker's pass. Good defense there by Luca Ferrello to take the ball away. Euro step, doesn't fall. McFall was well defended but gets her own miss. Kicks to Carter for an open triple, but it's short. Fight for the rebound. It's won by the Suburban girls and an open lane for Boylan, who is swatted but fouled by Carter. Good hustle by Danae Carter to get back defensively, but Boylan with good body positioning to draw the foul.
Nice take to the basket, good defense.
Clock stops with 8:26 to play in the first half, and Boylan will shoot 2. Boylan, as we mentioned already, will be headed to Marist next year, as she's no good on the first free throw. She played a key role at the point guard spot as a freshman, filling the shoes of Hannah Nihil, who is playing. And that's a power program, Cardinal O'Hara, especially on the girls' side of things. As this layup falls for Carter, she just bullied her way into the paint. And now a whistle here as the officials just want to get the ball to Boylan on the baseline. She inbounds to Baker, who takes it the length of the floor, loses the ball in the paint, swings up top. Good ball movement here by the Suburban squad. Near steal up top as Boylan able to get the ball back, but air balls kind of forced a 3 there.
Wasn't right, quite set. Good defense. Good ball movement, too. Like I said, a lot of good passing in this game so far.
I've been surprised by how well the Suburban squad has moved the ball here today. It takes a while to gel as a team offensively, but they have looked like they've played together for years.
Absolutely. And especially in an All-Star game, they're all willing to give up the ball. There's really no positions out there. Everybody just spreading the floor, and all 10 kids on the court can handle the ball, which is great to see.
Baker feeds the post to Hinchy off of a steal, but Shannon Hinchy unable to haul the ball in, and it goes for a turnover. City Girls take over, trailing 27-17 with 7 minutes to play here in the first half.
I love the 20-minute clock. I think this actually should be the way it should be at every level of basketball, even younger kids, because it gives the kids more minutes to play the game. You have a block of time to play. To me, get the most minutes you can for your players.
Low post take here for Lamplugh, and it falls. Timone Lamplugh, a solid post presence out of now. Triple on the other end and rattles it home. Shannon Hinchy shows off the range, and we'll have a timeout for some more substitutions as the Suburban girls ahead by 11 with 6:28 to go here in half number 1.
Well, you can see the Ridley girls are very comfortable shooting in this gym, but, hey, you still got to knock them down, and they're doing a great job with that.
Hinchy, one of the players on Ridley who helped them to a 2020 Central League championship as they defeated Springfield in the championship game a year ago. City squad with the ball, as in the corner is Siani Montgomery. She kicks up top. City squad works the ball on the arc. Here is Scannell. She goes on the drive into the corner, finds Montgomery, but before that, traveled.
Wayne Miller commented before his words are ringing true.
Lexi Calhoun brings the ball up for the Suburban girls. She'll be headed to UPenn next year. Up top at the top of the key is Mia Salvati. Baseline drive here for Kleber. Her pass intended for Emily Schmiel, but it's broken up. We'll stay on this side of the floor. Schmiel up top, tries a triple, but is off to the left on an air ball. And we've seen that a couple times from different players, as neither team got a lot of time to warm up. It's not your typical hour routine before a high school game in an all-star affair, so perhaps that's affecting the shots of a couple players today.
Sure, you need a little bit of time to get your eye settings, I call them, get your sight lines in order.
Savannah Moss tries a step-back triple, hits the front rim, fight for the rebound, and it's hauled in by Lexi Calhoun. Her pass up ahead, broken up and deflected out of play on the close baseline, but will stay with the Suburban girls, who have an 11-point lead, 5:17 to go here in the first half.
And even with the set air balls that we were talking about, it's still a pretty decent scoring game so far.
Kleber tries a triple. It's off the back iron. The floorboard taken in by Alexis Egan out of Bonner Prendy, and she leads the break. Into the half court now. Montgomery off a pull-up triple. That's too strong. And now a steal. That pass was telegraphed and taken away by Savannah Moss for the easy lay-in. Lead down to 9 for the Suburban girls. They're ahead 30-21 with Mark. Riley Skinnell out of St. Basil Academy. I was looking at the Suburban girls roster. City girls on the offensive end as Egan runs around a screen, loses the ball, fight for possession. And it was near a tie-up, but Hinchy able to get it out and find Salvati, but Salvati's pass is stolen. So still in the half court with the City girls as Cianco in the corner. Double teamed, but a foul is called. And that's going to be a reach on Boyd.
The refs are doing a good job. They're just calling the fouls they need to call. You don't need to call every little hand check in an all-star game, but you do need to call it when it's...
Step-back jumper rattles home for Siani Montgomery, who scored 34 points at Hershey in the championship game for West Catholic. As a buzzer sounds here, we'll see if it's an inadvertent one. And
that was a nice step-back jumper. That was a great shot.
It was off the hand of Calhoun. Won't count, as onto the floor is Rachel Conran, excuse me. 3:48 to play. The round goes to the City girls. Montgomery kicks outside. Three-pointer on the way, but that's an air ball. The rebound hauled in by Cianco. So another chance for the City girls, but the layup off the mark.
The first pass was really unselfish, you know, and I guess that's a good thing. You're just trying to get your other teammates involved because it's going to help you later on in the second half.
Calhoun missed the layup on the other end for the Suburban team. Now Dolan in the corner. Kicks up top. CS, as she was falling out, hit the backboard, so we'll stay with the City girls.
Everybody thought it was out of bounds because it went over the backboard, but it didn't touch, so it was still in play.
3:02 to go in the half, and the inbound will be sent in by Dolan. Dolan swings to the corner, and an off-balance three-pointer there. Goes for an air ball off the hand of Egan. And then Conrad not ready for the to Calhoun. Thought about the three. She'll take it. And no good, all out of rhythm there. Had an initial open look, passed it up, and that might have led to the miss.
If you got the shot, take it. Don't hesitate.
Three-pointer on the other end for Montgomery, no good.
Nice rebound.
And that was Emily Schmiel who hauled it in. Strong drive for Salvati. She lost the ball, and they haven't scored in the last 4 minutes of play, as a triple off the inbound is pure, so right on cue, the scoreless streak is broken on a triple by Lauren Kleber.
It was the reverse of the announcer's jinx.
And Montgomery's layup no good. Had a nice dribble move, and the lead up to 12 for the Suburban team. That's their largest of the half. Assist to Calhoun, and we have a whistle here, perhaps for a substitution. Less than 2 minutes to go here in the first half, as the City girls trail by 12, struggled offensively out of the jump. They surrendered an 8-0 run to start this game.
I think you sparked them when they heard they didn't score for a minute. They turned it around.
Now an air ball on a three-pointer for Riley Skinnell.
I think you'll start seeing some shots. If not, go in, get closer to the rim.
Oh, looked like a step-back jumper, but it's actually a pass. Beautifully done by Emily Schmiel to find Alexa Abanizio alone inside for a layup.
Alexa Abanizio really showing a well-rounded game so far today.
All-time pull-up jumper gets the roll as Alexa Abanizio with another bucket and a lead up to 16 for the Suburban girls.
Not hard to see why she became the all-time leading scorer at Springfield Delco.
48 seconds to play in the first layup, using the English, put it off the glass with a soft touch.
Super move.
And now a layup opportunity on the other end, no good, but a foul sends Kleber to the line. And that up and under, so difficult to knock down because you're going off the lefty pivot foot. It's your left foot going with a left-handed shot, but she somehow got it to fall off the glass.
It's a really good play. It looks so awkward, but when it goes in, it's a nice play.
And she led Westchester East to the District 1 5A semifinals. They lost a close one against Harton in overtime. She finished her career, Kleber, with 1,181 points, which is the fourth most in Westchester East history, as she hits both free throws. It's a 41-25 lead for the Suburban team with 30 seconds to play in the half. Montgomery, three-pointer for Abenizio, no good, but the rebound goes to the Suburban team, and another bucket falls. There's an air ball for Dolan, and that's going to do it for us in the first half as the Suburban team leads the City squad 43-25. We'll take a break. You're listening to the 34th Annual All-Star Labor Classic presented by the Philadelphia Building Trades across the JAKIB Media Network.
The dark.
The dark.
But I once heard someone say,
But as I always say,
it's okay to be afraid
as long as you face the fear.
and keep moving forward.
Wherever you are in life, count on the name trusted in insurance for over 80 years. Independence Blue Cross.
Grab a bite. It's your vacation, and we're doing everything we can to make it a safe one. The Wildwoods. Your vacation, your way.
Insurance save you up to 40% on your car insurance. Get your complimentary review. Call Jim Muehlbrenner directly at 215-354-0122. Your savings are a phone call away.
It's been a year full of uncertainty, but one thing is certain. For more than 80 years, families have been able to count on Independence Blue Cross. With Independence, you have access to the region's strong.
Back here at Ridley High School, I'm Joe Krause standing courtside. What you're watching in front of us now, Wayne Miller and Allison Kostiuk presenting a $150,000 check, and that check is being donated to MS of Philadelphia, all presented by the Building Trades, and all of that money was raised by the Building Trades for the 34th Annual All-Star Labor Classic. We're going to take a 30-second break, and then when we come back, I'm going to talk with Allison Kostiuk about that check presentation. Back in a moment.
I get scared sometimes.
Of a lot of things.
Joining in.
Decisions.
The dark.
The dark.
But I once heard someone say,
But as I always say,
it's okay to be afraid
as long as you face the fear.
and keep moving forward.
Wherever you are in life, count on the name trusted in insurance for over 80 years. Independence Blue Cross.
We can leave it on if you.
Okay, you ready?
Here live across the JAKIB Media Radio Network and Television Network as we bring you the 34th Annual All-Star Labor Classic. We are at halftime of the Suburban Girls versus the City Girls. Allison Kostiuk joining me. We just watched up on the video monitor, Allison, the check presentation. Of course, we made the official presentation last night during the radio program. Talk about it. A great check raised by a great bunch of people.
Yes, so this is the 34th annual All-Star Labor Classic, and we have raised up to almost $3 million for the charity. It used to be United Cerebral Palsy, and then the last 4 years it's been the National MS Society. And today we just presented a check for $150,000 to the National MS Society.
It's just staggering and it's unbelievable. I want you to share with the audience as well all of the student athletes who are participating in this basketball game also receive scholarship money for being selected and playing in this game.
You are correct. So once they graduate from high school, they will get a $500 scholarship, and it doesn't matter if they go on to play basketball or not. The check will go out to the university or to the college that they choose, and even if they choose not to go on to college or university, if they decide to go to the trades, that money can go towards their tools or toward their trades education as well.
Do the math, everybody. That's 40 athletes on each roster, 30 to 40 athletes on each roster, the girls' game and the boys' game. Times that by 34 years. Wow, it's an incredible amount of money. Great job by you, Allison Kosiak. We'll take a 30-second break. Back on the other side, we'll resume with the second half of the 34th Annual All-Star Labor Classic. Back in 30.
Chill or thrill? Lazy or crazy, wild or mild. In the Wildwoods, you can do as much or as little as you like. There's 5 miles of free white sand beaches and 38 blocks of boardwalk excitement.
Knocked down a triple as we're about 40 seconds into the second half here. Chris Markowitz alongside Michael Gibson at the 34th Annual All-Star Labor Classic. And the Suburban girls ahead 46-25 in complete control as a layup on the offensive end for the City Girls falls. Aisha Milburn with the deuce.
Good to see Hal hanging on the scoreboard today. Nice shot, Asha.
Yeah, Milburn with a bucket in the lane as a step back here by Boyd, well defended, so she opts to pass. Conran left open for a deep triple, and it's short. That was a college range three.
Her shots are right there. If they're not in, they're right there.
Wide open layup on the opposite end falls for Peyton Pugh out of St. Hubert's. And that's got Dave Schaefer, the coach of the City Girls team, cheering from the sidelines, seeing one of his own get a bucket here today.
Absolutely. It's got to be a thrill when you're coaching one of your own players.
On the other end, a block and a monstrous one for Danae Carter, denying a layup on the interior. She goes coast to coast, but leaves it short on the lefty layup.
I'll play. Coach Schaefer's speech might have been better than I thought. They came out with a lot of energy right away.
On the offensive end for the Suburban girls, good pump fake by Abenizio to get free, and she knocks down the jumper with the defender breathing down her neck. That is a tough look, but goes to show why she's the all-time leading scorer out of Springfield. Great offense there.
Yeah, I know what I've been reading about for 3 years. That was a big time move she just did.
City Girls go to work on the other end, trailing 48-29 with just under 18 minutes to play here in the second half. Ball goes out, last touched by the Suburban squad, so we'll stay on this end of the floor. Peyton Pugh will throw it in. Comes in from the baseline to Lamplugh. Now a three-pointer, pure for Luca Ferrello out of Archbishop Ryan. And Ferrello cuts the lead down to, it shows on the scoreboard 16. They might have added an extra point. As the shot off the mark for Conran. Here goes the City squad on the break. Beautiful feed from Lamplugh, and she finds a wide open Carter for the easy deuce.
Good teamwork by the City team right now. Playing well, getting back in it a little bit. Just keep pecking away.
And I like the running clock because it encourages, obviously, look, if you're going to have a competitive basketball game, you're going to run set defenses and offenses. But I like seeing the girls run up and down the floor and play at that higher pace. And we'll see it both in the girls' game and the boys' game. As a whistle here, ball goes out of play. It'll be an inbound for the Suburban squad from their half court.
Also like the 20 minutes. One change I always like to see in high school is do a 3 foul per half. for the players, because in the girls' game they get so nervous sometimes and get in foul trouble, and they miss half the game. To me, give each player 3 fouls in each half, make it a 20-minute half. I think it would open up the game even more than it is today.
I think that's a good point as Conran tries a triple, and it's pure. Out of rhythm, Rachel Conran knocks one in from college distance. Lead up to 17 for the Suburban girls as a nice Euro on the other end by Carter gets her own miss and misses the putback. Carter had 2 good looks but couldn't capitalize.
Hey, what I would have loved to play point guard on Springfield Delco this year with those 2 shooters. They would have made me look good.
Meanwhile, the Suburban girls on the attack, and Abenizio too strong, a heat check on a step-back triple as Milburn hauls in the floorboard.
Again, her and Conrad, even when their shots are missed, they're right on the rim. They both got such a great stroke.
Milburn lost the ball dribbling in the corner. It goes out of play for a turnover. And we've said Danae Carter's name a couple times out of St. Basil. She's the all-time leading scorer at the program with over 1,300 points. Travel here. That's why you hear the whistle, and that's on Ali Treblev. Carter, who will be playing at Mississippi State in the SEC next year, and she'll be playing for Women's Basketball Hall of Famer Nikki McCray-Penson, who recruited her while she was the head coach at Old Dominion, makes the change over to Mississippi State. It's been a dream of Carter's to play in the SEC, and she'll have a chance to do that for 4 years. As a layup off the mark for Peyton Pugh, the rebound goes to Milburn, who kicks to the corner. This triple falls. So a 3-pointer on the board for the City squad for Luca Varello.
Nice shot by Varello. Good double team down low by the Labor Classic, or the Labor Suburban girls, but they kicked it out for a nice shot.
14-point lead for the Suburban squad with under 15 minutes to play here in the second half. McNicholas on a cut. The pass for her is stolen by Varello. Varello leads the break. And her pass intended for Carter is stolen by Abenizio.
Coach Shaver pushing his girls to run, see if they can get themselves back in the game midway through near the 15-minute mark.
Pace of play really picking up here as a couple turnovers. And subs will enter the floor for both teams, Wholesale subs. We'll see that throughout.
And going back to one of my famous rants, this could be the same thing in youth basketball where you just sub when you need to sub, a couple times a game, rather than having kids wait there sometimes for 4 minutes till a clock stoppage. You can't do it like hockey does it, even though that would be fun. But I think if you're going to sub, just do it at a certain minute mark, and you're getting more kids opportunities to play minutes. I think that's the most important thing.
Layup on the offensive end for Shannon Hinchy doesn't fall. The rebound goes to Casey Cienko. And now McFall goes on the drive. Nice feed, and the layup too strong. Posey had a good look but couldn't capitalize.
Very unselfish play, tough miss.
Floater from 15, knocked down. And that's Amaris Baker out of O'Hara. She had a couple buckets in the first half, picks up where she left off. Montgomery on the pull-up, no good. The rebound to Posey, and her shot no good as Baker hauls in the defensive board, leads the break, is into the lane. Good pass outside. Pull-up jumper on the baseline is around the rim and out, but the rebound goes to Bella Arcuri. Baker on the drive, and she throws it in for 2 more.
Nice unselfish play. It's good to see so many kids have a good mid-range game so far.
Amaris Baker, such a talented player. As a 3-pointer on the other end is pure. Nice touch from deep. That was Destiny McFall. And now wide open on the other end. Savannah Moss snuck in behind the trees and lays it in for a deuce.
2 great plays in a row. Not a surprise how West Catholic was so successful this year.
Oh, isolation here for McFall. She tries a deep triple. Oh, and she's feeling it. Heat check time for Destiny McFall. She knocks one in from NBA range.
Big time shot, big time player.
On the other end, Moss can't answer, but the rebound goes to Hinchy. Her hook shot rolls in.
Nice old school basketball there. Great shooting, so maybe what I said is coming true in the second half. Everybody's sight lines are getting a little bit better.
You don't see it as much in the men's game because of how big the 3-pointer has become, but the post game still a big thing in girls and women's basketball, and you love to see the old school hook shot on display in an all-star game.
And if you do it once or twice, then you're going to get wide open outside looks, either 3-pointers or 15, 16-foot jumpers. So it's an effective offense to work the inside like that.
Suburban girls with the ball ahead by 16. Baker into the lane, and she got fouled. Amaris Baker headed to the stripe, and there was a good article in the South Philly Review written by Mark Zamaro where he talked about how Baker would urge her dad when she was growing up to take her to a park near their home every morning at 6 a.m. so she could get shots up and work on her game. You got to love the work ethic of Amaris Baker, and it's paid off for her as she's going to Kennesaw State in Georgia next year.
Awesome. I'd love to hear stories like that, kids working at that early in the morning.
Baker 0 for 2 on her trip to the line. The rebound hauled in by Posey.
There's people that like the game, but when you're getting up at 6 in the morning to get your workout in, that's love. That's love for the game.
That's a lot earlier than I was getting up when I was her age, I'll tell you what. I had video games to play at night. Meanwhile, the City Girls with the ball offensively, and the layup off the mark for Egan. Rebound went to Posey momentarily, but it's taken away by Hinchy.
Yeah, Posey's doing a good job getting offensive rebounds. It's a shame she's not getting able to knock some shots down, but give her credit for keep hustling. She's still banging the board. So
now a turnover by Boylan on a pass, so the City squad takes over with 11:14 to play in the second half. 59-43 is the score. The Suburban squad up in front as McFall dribbles up top, hands off to Carter. Danae Carter spins into the lane, draws the foul, but can't get the roll. A near and one, but she'll head to the line. And Carter, around 6 feet tall, has great length and size, a talented defender, a good outside touch, good with her back to the basket, a complete player. And that's why she'll be playing at the Division I level next year.
She seems to be one of the players that when she gets to the college level, she's probably going to be even better because it's going to be mostly one-on-one stuff. And at that size and with her athleticism, like you said, I think she's going to be tough to defend at the next level.
Carter goes 1 for 2 from the free throw line. She helped lead St. Basil to their 5th consecutive AACA and District 1 titles this year. A great program, unfortunately closing, but what a way to go out.
Yeah, head coach Terry Mancini in the last few years has really done a great job with that program, so it is sad to see them not be able to continue. But hopefully his underclassmen can find homes elsewhere, and we'll probably see some St. Basil alumni in this game next year.
That was the Cardinal O'Hara connection as Boylan fed Baker. You saw that all season long from those two as the Suburban girls ahead 61-44. Jump shot on the other end, no good. Fight for the rebound on the baseline is won by Montgomery. Shows off the handles, kicks up top. Posey for 3 around the rim and out. And here's Baker who leads the break into the lane. Lefty layup is good. And wow, you got to love the way Amaris Baker grabs a rebound and then immediately looks to run.
Big time athletic move. Great play.
Hesitation on the other end as McFall's into the lane, has her shot blocked. And now a jump ball is called. Held ball, it'll be possession arrow to the City Girls who trail 63-44 with 9:42 to play in the second half. Inbound comes to Egan. Alexis Egan has her pass broken up. Oh, diving effort, unable to come away with a steal, though, is one of the defenders for the Suburban girls as it's picked up in the backcourt by Montgomery. Montgomery with a crossover, unable to hit the layup, and Baker with the board. On the other end, chance for a three-pointer passed up. Baker on the baseline, and she lays it in with the left hand. She's so good with that offhand.
I've seen so many good players from O'Hara going back to the Chrissy Donahue days and the Kristen Clement, and I coached against Natasha Cloud, not very well, but it's amazing how consistent that program has been over the last 50 years. They probably are the most consistent program in, if not just the city of Philadelphia area, but the state and the country as well.
Danae Carter hit a layup on the other end. And just talking about O'Hara, as this three-pointer is off the mark, I want to give a shout-out as well to another great alum, Denise Dillon, as the putback falls for Shannon Hinchy. Dillon, the head coach at Villanova, doing a solid job there in year number 1. But you're right, Cardinal O'Hara names are throughout the Philadelphia basketball circle, both in college and at the high school level, as the three-pointer off the mark for McFall, but the rebound goes to the City squad. This three-pointer doesn't get the roll for Egan. Baker with another board. What a game she is having. Long two on the other end for her, hits the back iron. We're not keeping official stats, but Baker's got around 15 or 16 points and probably close to 10 rebounds already as Carter off the mark on the layup. The Suburban girls ahead 67-46. And a no-look pass behind the back. Hinchy 4-3, no good. And the rebound goes to Alexis Egan. McFall, puts on the moves, lays it up, doesn't get the roll. That was a beautiful move, though. Destiny McFall threw the ball behind her back, went to a spin the opposite direction. That's elite-level ball.
Really athletic. It would have been great if it went down, but that's still a great move.
McFall, the PA Max Prep Basketball Player of the Year, the 2021 MVP of the PCL. And the first free throw hits iron and drops in. She'll be headed to Virginia Tech next year. As she hits her second free throw, and here comes some more substitutions. Clock is stopped with 7:34 to play in half number 2.
I mean, the city school, they keep pecking away, but every time it gets to where it might make a little bit of a run, the Suburban teams just make 2 or 3 baskets to keep the lead where it is. But I give them credit for keep battling. You know, it's an all-star game, but hey, keep playing, make some shots, have some fun.
Substitutions checking in, and there's 10 of them, so we'll get them to you as we go along here. 7:33 and counting in this game. Suburban girls with the ball ahead by 19. Calhoun dribbles up top, swings left arc. Mia Salvati short on the 3. Fight for the rebound, and it's hauled in by Schmiel, who knocks down the easy hook shot.
Nice post move inside. Again, she does that well.
Emily Schmiel with the bucket. And the lead back up to 21. 3 on the other end is too strong for Milburn. And here comes the Suburban girls. Good pass up ahead, but it's too strong for McNicholas. She tries to save the ball, and it comes right into our booth here as the officials signal possession to the city squad. Milburn leads the city team down to the other end in their red jerseys. And now drops it off at the top of the arc. Here's Scannell. Riley Scannell with a hesitation goes around a screen from Milburn. Kicks to Milburn at the right wing. The ball deflected out of play, but stays with the city squad.
Now I'm realizing the players playing with masks on all year, and hopefully next year when we're back here again, we'll be playing without that. I know it gets tiresome just living normal life, but playing a full court game of basketball with a mask on cannot be the easiest thing to do.
Emily Schmiel tried to pull up jumper. It's no good. The ball goes out of play. Last touched by the Suburban squad. As a tough tumble taken there by one of their players, but she's okay. Milburn off of the inbound, goes on the drive, has the lane, but misses the runner. Salvati leads the break, slows things down, finds an open shooter, and the three-pointer goes off glass around the rim, but lips out. Rebound pulled in by Reagan Dolan. Dolan around a Milburn screen. She goes right. Thought about the 3, and now pivots a couple times, kicks to Milburn. Milburn in the right corner. Dribbles against her defender, picks up her dribble. Baseline drive here, that was Pugh. She kicks to the corner, and this 3 doesn't get the roll. The rebound blocked. Lamplugh had a shot there, but couldn't connect. As unable to haul the ball in on the other end is Lauren Kleber, so it goes for a turnover by the Suburban girls.
There hasn't been very many turnovers today, though. Most of the passes have been pretty good, pretty crisp, but a testament to the girls, how they play together. There hasn't been that many turnovers for an all-star game.
Layup on the offensive end for the City Girls, no good. And something we didn't factor in is, while this is an all-star game, players playing with people they haven't played before, a lot of these girls play together in AAU circles. As a three-pointer from the corner, good for the Suburban team. That was Calhoun. And the lead up to 24 now for the Suburban girls. Milburn dribbling at the top of the key. She tries a 14-foot jump shot. It's off glass, but no good. Scannell with the rebound, but it's taken away by Schmiel. Her pass up ahead finds a wide open teammate, and that layup high off glass and good for Kylie McNicholas.
Great concentration. Good defense on the play. She just made a great offensive move to the basket.
4:30 to play here in the second half. Big lead for the Suburban girls. They're ahead 74-48. Scannell dribbles at the top of the arc. Oh, what a beautiful feed, and the layup converted by Dolan, but that was a pocket pass by Riley Scannell.
Yeah, great shot by Reagan Dolan from Bonner Prendy, correction.
Dolan with a good cut to set it up as we have some more substitutions here. A little over 4 minutes to play, 4:12 to go.
Scannell's played a good game also. She's done a little bit of everything for the city squad.
Salvati, good extra feet on the baseline, but the jump shot too strong. On the other end, a runner off the mark for Dolan. The rebound goes to the city squad. Three-pointer rattles home. And that was Riley Scannell, who has played well today. Amaris Baker on the other end, lefty layup, that's good. About
Great
three
shot
or
by
four.
Baker from O'Hara. She's getting to the basket.
That's about 3 or 4 lefty layups from Baker, primarily a right-hand player, but she is so good going either way, and that's what makes her such an elite-level scorer.
That's a very athletic move. It looks like a tough shot to make, but she's made 3 or 4 of them, like you said.
City squad with the ball trailing 53-76 with 3:33 to play, and here's Montgomery with the tight handle. She kicks to Ferrello, right wing. Luca Ferrello swings to the left arc. Three-pointer on the way around the rim and out for Egan. Baker hauls in the board, leads the break. 2-on-1. Baker kicks to the corner. Wide open shot, no good. Baker fights for the board but can't haul it in.
Very unselfish. Good teamwork on that play. Just a tough shot. In and out.
Ferrello.
I was getting back to the mask thing. I said most of my coaches would have liked me to have a mask on when I was playing, just to keep me quiet.
McFall missed a 3 on the end for the city squad. Now a pass to Baker, stolen, and unable to keep it in play is Siani Montgomery hustling near the stands. I know it's just an all-star game, but Montgomery playing like it's the state finals in Hershey.
Yeah, they're all over the court. You know, they're down a lot, but they haven't stopped hustling, which is a great testament. We get great kids at this game every year. Every year I'm impressed with the level of talent and just the enthusiasm that the ladies play with.
2:37 to play. Baker on the drive, high off the glass, misses the lefty layup, but the putback, off the mark for Emily Schmiel, excuse me. That's the first time we've seen Baker miss a lefty layup. On the other end, three-pointer for Egan, too strong, but the rebound falls in the hands of McFall, and she lays it up for the easy
Nice
deuce.
left-handed twist shot, very athletic.
Back and forth we go at the tail end here. Suburban girls ahead by 21, so the lead out of reach, but we'll just see the talent showcased in the final 2 minutes of action. As a pull-up jumper from 13 falls for Lauren Kleber, and we'll have a couple more substitutions.
And a good thing, too, with the 20-minute half and the running clock, like you said, even though you're down, you're still playing. You still can have the opportunity to make plays and all. So I think that's why the kids are still playing, 100% effort right now.
A minute 51 to play in the 34th annual All-Star Labor Classic on the girls' side as the three-pointer off the mark for McFall. Rebound goes to Posey, her shot off the mark, and the miss taken in by Schmiel. On the other end, an open 3 for Kleber, no good. The rebound goes to the Suburban team. Hinchy thought about the 3, goes on the drive after a fake. Oh, that's beautifully done. Shannon Hinchy lays it in for the easy deuce.
Another player's had a nice, well-rounded game today.
Yeah, she can play inside and outside. As a steal on the other end, Montgomery lost the handle. Suburban squad with the ball ahead 80-55. High post to low post action there as Hinchy finds Schmiel for the layup.
The forward showing the guards a little bit of their passing ability right there.
55 seconds and counting with the Suburban girls ahead 82-55. And that is Ferrello who hands off to McFall. Her layup gets the roll.
You knew she's not giving up yet.
Destiny McFall with what might be her last bucket of her high school career. As from the corner, this 3 off the backboard, no good for Kleber. Fight for the rebound. 25 seconds to play in the game. Egan up ahead, and nope. Another bucket for McFall, and she'll head to the line, +1.
I can't stop getting impressed with that shot every time she keeps making it.
I'm excited to follow the career of Destiny McFall when she heads to Virginia Tech. Kenny Brooks is getting a good one as she misses the free throw. And Hinchy leads the Suburban girls down to the other end of the floor. Cleaver kicks to the corner. Three-pointer on the way. No good. The rebound goes to Cleaver. 8 seconds on the clock. And a steal on the baseline by Egan. 3 to shoot. Egan from half court. And it's partially blocked. That'll do it. Final score, the Suburban team 82, the City team 59. And some nice action we saw from both squads. Back and forth, up and down action because of the running clock. A fun game here today.
That was great. McFall at the end. I'm sure a college coach will be happy to see that. Down 20-something points. She's still playing her butt off, so I think that's a great effort by the City squad.
We'll take a quick break. You're listening to the 34th Annual All-Star Labor Classic, presented by the Philadelphia Building Trades across the JAKIB Media Network.
I get scared sometimes.
Of a lot of things.
Joining in.
Decisions.
The dark.
The dark.
But I once heard someone say,
But as I always say,
it's okay to be afraid.
as long as you face the fear.
And keep moving forward.
Wherever you are in life, count on the name trusted in insurance for over 80 years. Independence Blue Cross.
Welcome to the Wildwoods, the perfect place where you can safely do everything or nothing at all. Catch a wave, take a nap, go for a drive, grab a bite. It's your vacation, and we're doing everything we can to make it a safe one. The Wildwoods. Your vacation, your way.
I get scared sometimes.
Of a lot of things.
Joining in.
Decisions.
The dark.
The dark.
But I once heard someone say,
But as I always say,
it's okay to be afraid.
as long as you face the fear.
And keep moving forward.
Wherever you are in life, count on the name trusted in insurance for over 80 years. Independence Blue Cross.
Welcome back into the 34th Annual All-Star Labor Classic, presented by the Philadelphia Building Trades. And Joe Kraus is standing on the sidelines with our feature player from today, Amaris Baker out of Cardinal O'Hara. Amaris, great game today, great effort. Hit some three-pointers early on, but what impressed me was going to the left hand a lot. How often do you work on that lefty layup?
I work on it as much as I can. You can't just be dominant on one side. You want to be great. You got to do both sides, So I've been working on my left for a while. I mean, when I was little, I used to be frustrated because I was like, I can't do this left-handed. My dad would be like, no, you can do it. You just got to keep on working at it. So it was good that, that you noticed that I was going to the left a lot.
You guys won the state title this year and got a shout-out back on Friday from Congresswoman Mary Gay Scanlon on the congressional floor. So that storyline, what were your emotions when that happened, just to know you're getting recognized on the national stage?
It was awesome. It was a great experience, a big learning lesson for us, and we got stopped short last year, so it was great. We had that goal in our heads, like we got to finish what we started and what we couldn't finish. So we started and we finished, so that was a great thing for us.
You're heading to Kennesaw State for college, and what are your expectations going down there in Georgia? How excited are you to get your college career started next year?
I'm extremely excited. It's in Georgia, nice weather, great school, great area. So my goals there is to I want to beat the scoring record. Whoever has that, I'm coming for you. And I just want to be a great teammate, learn from everyone who's older than me, and just reach my goal, which is the WNBA or overseas, anything.
Amaris, thank you so much for your time. You played great today. Thank you so much for the interview. We're going to take another break, and you're listening to the 34th Annual All-Star Labor Classic presented by the Philadelphia Building Trades across the JAKIB Media Network.
Thank you.
I get scared sometimes.
Of a lot of things.
Joining in.
Decisions.
The dark.
The dark.
But I once heard someone say,
But as I always say,
it's okay to be afraid.
as long as you face the fear.
And keep moving forward.
Wherever you are in life, count on the name trusted in insurance for over 80 years. Independence Blue Cross.
Welcome to the Wildwoods, the perfect place where you can safely do everything or nothing at all. Catch a wave, take a nap, go for a drive, grab a bite. It's your vacation, and we're doing everything we can to make it a safe one. The Wildwoods, your vacation, your way.
I get scared sometimes.
Of a lot of things.
Joining in.
Decisions.
The dark.
The dark.
But I once heard someone say,
But as I always say,
it's okay to be afraid.
as long as you face the fear.
And keep moving forward.
Wherever you are in life, count on the name trusted in insurance for over 80 years. Independence Blue Cross.
Special edition of the High School Sports Show as we broadcast to you across the JAKIB Media Radio Network. It's our Meet the Athletes of the 34th Annual All-Star Labor Classic. I'm Joe Kraus. Thank you so much for being a part of this year's All-Star Labor Classic. Got a couple of the great athletes that are playing in the basketball game for the boys. We're going to talk and introduce you to Dominic Vasquez, who joins us here, and then Mike Nelson from Ridley High School will be with us as well. But first, Dominic Vasquez, let me officially welcome you to the 34th Annual All-Star Labor Classic. Thanks for being here. How are you, my friend?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, thank you for being here and appreciate you jumping on in our Meet the Athletes segment. Tell us a little bit and tell the listening audience, Dominic, just a little bit about you. Who are you? Who are you? We know that you are a point guard, a great point guard. We've watched your highlights on Huddle, and obviously you're part of the All-Star selection. You played your high school at Archbishop Ryan. Pick it up from there. Tell us a little bit about you.
I was the starting point guard my last 2 years at Archbishop Ryan High School. We went to the Final Four the last 2 years in the Catholic League. Played at the Palestra as a junior. This year we made it to the state championship, and we just been playing real good the last 2 years.
Tell me about that. Tell me about that game at the Palestra in front of a sellout crowd in a legendary building. Dominic, what was that like?
You can't get nothing better than that. It was the best feeling. The energy was crazy in that gym, and it was just great being there. And I'll never forget that moment playing on that court.
You talked about also this past year going to the States, and your teammates, your coaches, your family, your friends also had to deal with COVID-19 and the pandemic. So that made things very, very different in what was your senior year. Tell us a little bit about some of those experiences.
I think the biggest struggle with COVID for my team was we had took a 2-week break in the beginning of the year, so all of our games were like within a day or 2 days, the end of the year, and we were playing like 19 games in like 30 days or something like that, which is a lot more than what other teams were doing, and we couldn't get our fans. Usually we have a lot of people at our games, so that was also different, not having as much people there, being able to watch us.
Of course, on the when you play in the All-Star Labor Classic, some of those COVID-19 restrictions will be part of the All-Star Labor Classic. How challenging, Dominic, was it for you and for your teammates in playing in an empty gym or playing in a gym where fans were not permitted?
I mean, it's just hard to get. You got to get your own energy going, and when in situations like that. So it will come from the bench, or someone on the team needs to make a big play for someone to just get that energy going. Because usually you'll have your fans cheering, and every time you score, everybody's clapping. So you always have energy when everybody's there. But that's one struggle that we had during the season.
Dominic Vasquez, who is part of the City Boys All-Stars, who played his high school basketball at Archbishop Ryan, is joining us. Dominic, where are you going to school? What's your plans once you get through graduation?
I'm not committed yet on where I'm going to go, so I'm weighing some options, but some schools are like Arcadia, Westchester, and some other schools.
And you plan on playing basketball once you finally decide?
Yes.
All right, good stuff. Stay with us, Dominic. Let's bring into the conversation. We'll flip from a 2-shot into a 3-shot, and we'll welcome Mike Nelson is going to join us. He'll be competing in some ways during the All-Star Labor Classic Boys Edition against Dominic. Mike Nelson played his high school basketball at Ridley High School. He's on the Suburban Boys team. Mike, welcome into our Meet the Athletes of the 34th Annual All-Star Labor Classic.
How you doing? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, great to have you, Mike. Let me first ask you to introduce yourself a little bit to the audience. Tell the audience a little bit about who Mike Nelson is.
I got to play JV as a freshman and also swing as a freshman. I swung my sophomore year, and then I was full varsity player from junior and senior year. We were struggling my first 2 years. Then my junior year, we picked it up. We made the playoffs. And then this year we struggled again with COVID. We didn't have as much games. We didn't have as much practice time, and we started real late. So we still made the playoffs, but we lost in the first round.
Tell us, Dominic and I were just having a conversation about some of those challenges, Mike, during COVID-19, playing in front of an empty house, for example, where no fans or no friends were able to come to some of those games. How challenging was that for you?
Yeah, it definitely was a lot more challenging than usual because if you go to Ridley, all sports, you got to be very energetic. So our fans always helped us out. So creating just energy on the bench was tough. And then the just not having everybody there was just not the same thing as regular basketball.
Well, during the All-Star Labor Classic, you're playing in your home gym. You're playing on your home turf. The Delco Times, I think, referred to you and some of the other members of the Ridley squad that are on both the boys and the girls as the pride of Delco playing in the All-Star Labor Classic. So pretty exciting stuff to be finishing up your high school career playing in this All-Star Labor Classic.
Yeah, it's definitely really cool, especially on our home court.
We're visiting with Mike Nelson and Dominic Vasquez, who are joining us on this special edition of the High School Sports Show. Again, the 34th Annual All-Star Labor Classic. As we come back here on the special edition of the High School Sports Show presented by the Philadelphia Building Trades. Dominic, I want to get one last thought from you, if I can, about memories that you will take with you from post high school, when you leave Archbishop Ryan and your high school season and that game at the Palestra, and all of the games and all of the friends and everything that was part of your high school experience becomes a memory as you transition into your collegiate years. Tell me a little bit about what you anticipate.
There's been a lot of great memories that I made at in high school and during basketball. Even as a sophomore, I was playing in states because we had lost a few players, so I was getting really good time during states. That's one thing I always remember. I think that got me ready for starting in the Catholic League the next year, the next 2 years, and leading the team to the Palestra. Also, a great game. We played against some great players too that are playing at the next level, like Jordan Hall, Cam, something like, and then Hakeem Bird. He's also playing Division I basketball. A bunch of players from that team are all playing Division I basketball, and that's what's great about the Catholic League. Also, I got to play against some great players in the Catholic League.
I'm quite sure that you will never forget what it was like at the Palestra when you played. Of all the memories, of all the gymnasiums, of all the games, it really is a special moment.
It really is. And at the time, like, you don't think, like, this might be the last time I ever playing there, because I had thought that we would have had the next year there. So not at the time thinking it was going to be my last time. I wish I would have taken it more serious and really realized where I was playing at the time. It was a great moment.
Great stuff from Dominic Vasquez, our special Meet the Athletes of the All-Star Labor Classic across the JAKIB Media Network, all presented, of course, by the Philadelphia Building Trades. $150,000 will be donated to MS, the National Multiple Sclerosis Society of Philadelphia. Dominic, wherever you choose to play, wherever you go, I imagine I will see your name in the headlines once again. Well done. Congrats to you on being selected to play in the All-Star Labor Classic. Just a great job by you.
Thank you. I appreciate you for having me on here.
Absolutely. That's Dominic Vasquez. And also congratulations to Mike Nelson, the point guard from Ridley High School, who joined us as well. We will continue on the other side with more of our Meet the Athletes of the All-Star Labor Classic. Special edition of the High School Sports Show presented by the Philadelphia Building Trades as we bring you our Meet the Athletes who are participating in the 34th Annual All-Star Labor Classic. It's been a lot of fun for me to connect and talk and meet some of these great superstars who are not only playing in the All-Star Labor Classic, which for most of the athletes playing, it represents their final high school game of their career, but a lot of these student athletes have just had tremendous careers. Our next participant and our next guest and all-star who's joining me is Eric Butler, who is representing the Suburban boys. Eric played his high school basketball on the Hatboro Horsham Hatters. And Eric, we welcome you in to the broadcast and to the conversation, man. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, it's great to have you, and great for you to participate and play in the 34th annual All-Star Labor Classic. This is not your first rodeo in terms of receiving accolades. You had postseason awards, second team All-League, just one of the awards that you received. Tell the listening audience, Eric, a little bit about who you are and your basketball career at Hatboro Horsham.
Since a freshman, I came in. I tried to work hard. I came in and played with JV my freshman year. Unfortunately, I had missed my sophomore and my junior year of basketball. But I came in with, my first chance, I guess. And with a good team, we came out and did what we did this year.
Tell me what it was like, Eric, to play high school basketball this year. A lot of the athletes that we've talked to already shared their thoughts about playing during COVID-19, almost not having a season, playing in front of an empty gym, a lot of different circumstances. What was it like?
You got to get pumped with your guys before. It's you can't rely on the outside energy. That really creates the game feel of everything. So you got a whole lot of time to prepare for basically whatever what the upcoming game or the game plans for everything. So with COVID, you got time. You know what I'm saying? As in, you don't have to be rushing into the next game. So we had a lot of time to prepare for games coming up.
How hard or how easy was it, Eric?
I wouldn't say it was hard, but you don't know if next game is going to happen because it's one call away. So from being cut.
Tell me a thing that you learned about the battle of your season, your senior season.
I learned being the underdog is good.
I like that.
Before I moved here, I've always been the top dog of the person to go get. And being under and being put under of you can't beat us and now I got to come out and play you and I get to win, I think that's like the best part of that I learned this year.
We're talking with Eric Butler, who is representing the Suburban boys as part of the 34th annual All-Star Labor Classic. Eric played his high school basketball at Hatboro Horsham. He plays in the All-Star Labor Classic under Coach Kevin Kelly. Eric, I want to get a thought from you about playing in the 34th annual All-Star Labor Classic. Not only is it a basketball game where the best athletes come together, also it raises an incredible amount of money and awareness for MS, the Multiple Sclerosis Society of Philadelphia. $150,000 will be raised from you participating in this game. Tell me what that means to you.
It's a good thing to see everybody. We're playing for a cause. So to have somebody to give into it, it's a reason why we're playing.
Eric, what's your plans when you're all done high school? Have you settled in? Have you decided to? Have you picked a college? Are you going to college? What have you thought about?
I'm undecided. I'm just taking the summer off just to really think about it, planning ahead.
Keep playing basketball, man. You're a great basketball player. Playing in this game is super special. And I think 10 years and 15 from now, Eric, you will remember that you did play in 34th Annual All-Star Labor Classic. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Great stuff. That's Eric Butler from the Hatboro Horsham Hatters, part of the Suburban Boys. It's the 34th Annual All-Star Labor Classic.
Welcome to the Wildwoods, the perfect place where you can safely do everything or nothing at all. Catch a wave, take a nap, go for a drive, grab a bite. It's your vacation, and we're doing everything we can to make it a safe one. The Wildwoods, your vacation, your way.
I get scared sometimes.
Of a lot of things.
Joining in.
Decisions.
The dark.
The dark.
But I once heard someone say,
But as I always say,
it's okay to be afraid.
as long as you face the fear.
And keep moving forward.
Wherever you are in life, count on the name trusted in insurance for over 80 years. Independence Blue Cross.
Welcome to the Wildwoods, the perfect place where you can safely do everything or nothing at all. Catch a wave, take a nap, go for a drive, grab a bite. It's your vacation, and we're doing everything we can to make it a safe one. The Wildwoods, your vacation, your way.
And a special edition of the High School Sports Show. Here on AM 990, The Answer, all presented by the Philadelphia Building Trades, as we proud to bring you the 34th Annual All-Star Labor Classic. This is our Meet the Athletes who are competing, our conversation with the All-Stars playing in the 34th Annual All-Star Labor Classic. We're joined now by Jax Trickey, who's joining us and playing in the All-Star Labor Classic. Jax, great to have you join us, and thank you very much for being a part of the Labor Classic.
Of course, thanks for being here.
Yeah, no, great to have you. You played your high school basketball at Cardinal O'Hara.
Yeah, so junior and senior year, I actually played at Cardinal O'Hara, but before there, I was playing in Delaware at Sanford High School, and they were actually pretty good. They won 2 state championships while I was in high school, but not while I was there. We won 1.
A lot of good basketball players hidden in the state of Delaware.
Yeah, I got a chance to play with Nana Njoku, who's going to Villanova, really great player. And then I got to play with Jair Davis as well, who's at Providence.
How about the name Dante DiVincenzo?
Yeah. I actually know like his family, and I used to babysit like his nieces and nephews and stuff. And then I like grew up watching him at Sally's and stuff, and he's such a great player. And I just watched him go to Villanova and just keep going on from there.
Won a couple of championships at Villanova, and then segued his way right into the National Basketball Association.
I remember the game against Virginia. I just knew that like he was going to the NBA as soon as he like just went off in that game.
You know, Jax, in my preparation for our conversation, I read a couple of quotes that you put out there. You have a real strong desire to continue to play basketball at a high level. Tell me about that.
Well, I mean, I've always wanted to play like at the highest level, but I mean, like COVID happened, and like I wanted to pursue like going Division I, like over like that course of the time where like COVID happened, but like that kind of happened and stuff. But like I ended up like getting in my like offer from Marymount, and like I'm really excited for that. And I just want to keep working as hard as I can and just keep developing my game and maybe sometime in the future, like I'll end up getting an opportunity to play at a higher level, and I'll be really excited for that as well.
Well, for the benefit of those viewing and watching across the JAKIB Media YouTube channel or the listeners on AM 990, you and I are sitting eye to eye in different locations. But if we were standing in the same room, you're a lot taller than I am. You're a big basketball player. You're a big guy. You play down low, but you can get up the floor with speed. What's your strongest asset on the basketball court?
I would probably say my strongest asset on the basketball court is just my like athleticness and like my toughness and my just like want to just like always rebound the ball and get up the court and just always be defending it, like whoever has the ball.
One last question, Jax, about a relocation to Cardinal O'Hara in your junior year. So you played the last 2 years at Cardinal O'Hara. How tough was that? Was it tough to switch gears in your going into what was your junior year?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say it was easy because it wasn't totally easy because like I had like we were still in Delaware when I first transitioned there, so I was still driving 45 minutes to school every single day. Like I was getting up like early at like 6 a.m. driving. So I mean that was like the biggest part for me, like biggest change. And then just like getting there and knowing new people and just like building more like different relationships. Like being on the basketball team helped me a lot, but like I mean it still was hard. But like now like I like have a lot of good friendships and it's like been going really well now. So I mean, and like this year of basketball, like I thought I didn't think it was going to go as well as it did because like we lost we lost Ant Purnell, we lost Adrian Irving, we lost Solo Bambara, we lost Jamil, like who were all starters last year. So I mean, and they're all amazing players and are going places. So I mean, like I didn't know what to expect this year going in, but I'm just really glad we had a great season and like I just got along with all the players this year as well.
Yeah, really good stuff. Jax Trickey joining us here as we meet the athletes who will participate in the 34th annual All-Star Labor Classic. Jax, I want to ask you about playing in this game, the 34th annual All-Star Labor Classic. Some of the best athletes that have ever played in the city of Philadelphia or in the suburbs have put on the uniform. They've played one last All-Star basketball game, all to raise money for a nonprofit. Pretty amazing stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I'm really grateful to be invited to play in it. And I'm really invited. I mean, I'm really excited to put on the jersey and to play for everyone and showcase my abilities and stuff. And I'm really excited to like raise money for charity. So I'm glad that that's what this is for because I love doing charity work and stuff. So, I mean.
Jax Trickey is our special guest, one of the all-star athletes who will play here in the All-Star Labor Classic, playing for the Suburban boys. He grew up in Wilmington, played his last 2 years of high school basketball at Cardinal O'Hara. And now, when high school concludes, will play at Marymount. You've committed, and that's where you'll play.
Marymount University, yes. Tomorrow is my signing day.
Wow, terrific. Great stuff. Glad to have you on the night before you sign. Are you nervous? Are you thinking about it? What's that like?
I mean, I'm a little nervous just because like everybody's just going to have their eyes on me and stuff and just be watching me. But like, I'm really excited that like we're finally here and like, I'm like, cause like I remember being like there for like my sister plays Division I soccer, and I remember being there for her signing day, and it was just so much fun. She had so much fun, so I'm just really excited for that.
All right, great stuff from Jax Trickey joining us here. Jax, best of luck to you. We'll see you when you're playing collegiate basketball, and we look forward to you dominating in the All-Star Labor Classic. Well done, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me.
Yeah, great to have you.
I get scared sometimes.
Of a lot of things.
Joining in.
Decisions.
The dark.
The dark.
But I once heard someone say,
But as I always say,
it's okay to be afraid.
as long as you face the fear.
And keep moving forward.
Wherever you are in life, count on the name trusted in insurance for over 80 years. Independence Blue Cross.
And we're here live for the 31st Annual All-Star Labor Classic as we come to you across the JAKIB Media Radio Network, broadcasting, of course, on News Talk 990. All of the proceeds raised from this incredible event being donated to Blossom Philadelphia. What an incredible job done by the entire Union community. I think it's the most powerful fundraising event in the city of Philadelphia, 31 years strong. The boys game will be getting started soon, and of course we'll have all of the action for you right here live on News Talk 990. You're listening to the 31st Annual All-Star Labor Classic as we come to you across the JAKIB Media Radio Network. Back in a moment.
The growing demand for highly trained and highly skilled workers in the construction trades has created a great educational opportunity for all public and private high school students. Go to Philadelphia Building Trades /education or call the Philadelphia Building Trades at 215-677-8500. The Philadelphia Building and Construction Trades Council has a great opportunity, a great job, and it comes with no school debt. Go to Philadelphia Building Trades /education or call the Philadelphia Building Trades at 215-677-8500.
Malvern Preparatory School, located in Malvern, Pennsylvania, is an independent Catholic Augustinian school for boys in grades 6 through 12. At Malvern Prep, they are committed to the Augustinian values of Veritas, Unitas, and Caritas, meaning truth, unity, and love. For over 175 years, their tradition has been to prepare young men for college, for leadership, and for life. At Malvern Prep, they educate their students in a caring environment focused on academics while maintaining balance among spirituality, arts, athletics, and activities. Malvern students learn today so that they may lead with integrity tomorrow. For more information, visit malvernprep.org.
We are a city full of fearless. You can feel it pedaling past history on an Indigo bike, among the myriad of cultural events, and with the determination that carries you up rocky steps. Because we're a city that began with a sense of freedom and never looked back. And for nearly 80 years, Independence Blue Cross has supported that spirit, providing strength and security with the card most accepted by top doctors and specialists. Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless.
News Talk 990 AM. NewsTalk990.com.
And we welcome back everybody to the University of the Sciences as we broadcast you from Bobby Morgan Arena. It's the 31st Annual All-Star Labor Classic, and the boys game getting set to begin. Ari Bluestein will be bringing you all of the play-by-play and a great presentation this afternoon. A $150,000 check being presented. What it's all about.
Well, that is certainly what it's all about, and we have a man in the booth now who has seen these players play all year long, and I'm talking about Aaron Ace Carter out of the Philadelphia Inquirer, who survived playing in the media game. So before we get into this game coming up, Ace, I want to welcome you in, and you got to play in that media game versus the Union team. You've done it, for the last few years. Talk about that game and what it's like to be a part of the 31st Annual All-Star Labor Classic.
Well, I'm not actually sure I survived. I'll let you know in the morning when I wake up tomorrow.
I will say, Ari, I will say this. He hit a deep three ball at the buzzer to go into the half. I don't remember if they counted the three, but you counted the three. All right, good stuff.
Well, along with Aaron Ace Carter, I'm Ari Bluestein, our producer Joe Kraus, and Ace will hang out with us for a little bit here in the first half.
It's the 31st Annual All-Star Labor Classic, and again, I keep going back to that check presentation amount, $150,000, representing 100% of the proceeds that are generated from this basketball game today. All good stuff as we bring you the 31st Annual All-Star Labor Classic here this afternoon on News Talk 990 across the JAKIB Media Radio Network. We will take a break and come back with the start and the tip of the boys All-Star game back in a moment.
Your Greater Philadelphia area Duncan is awarding a total of $25 $2,000 college scholarships to qualified high school seniors and current undergraduate college students around our region as part of their 10th annual Duncan Philadelphia Regional Scholarship Program. It's Duncan's way of helping you get your education running. To learn more and to apply for your chance to be a recipient, visit learnmore.scholarsApply.org/Duncan Philly. Applications will be accepted through April 15th. Apply today. America runs on Duncan.
Get ready for a city versus suburban showdown as the best of the best high school girls and high school boys basketball players compete in the 32nd Annual All-Star Labor Classic, presented by Philadelphia's Organized Labor. The All-Star Labor Classic has donated well over $3 million, with 100% of this year's proceeds supporting MS. Mark your calendars and don't miss it. Sunday, April 14th, the 32nd Annual All-Star Labor Classic, presented by Philadelphia's Organized Labor and being held at the Philadelphia College of Sciences.
And welcome back to the University of the Sciences, live here for the 31st Annual All-Star Labor Classic. I'm Ari Bluestein, and the boys All-Star game about to begin, but I bring in Aaron Ace Carter yet again here across the JAKIB Media Radio Network. And you know, the great thing is, yes, it's a basketball game, but it's all about the charity in the end. We resume play here, and we're off and running as Sam Sessoms for the city team missing the layup. You know, a couple players like Karan Randolph, who watched him develop at Haverford School, and as the opening bucket made there by the city team as they lead it 2-0. Very fast-paced game as the aforementioned Randolph missing the three. How about Ed Croswell for the city team getting the rebound? He's another guy who transitioned from Math, Civics, and Sciences now to St. Joe's Prep and now to LaSalle University.
Yeah, Eddie's game has grown so much since he was at MCNS. I think he was there as a freshman and a sophomore. Wound up at St. Joe's Prep, and Speedy Morris in that program really just took his game to another level. I see he's
and right on cue, he dunks the basketball. Love that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was just about to say it's something that he added to his game. A little more athletic, slimmed down a little bit. Footwork has always been there. It's been fun to watch him play.
So 4-0 City as Andrew Funk of Archbishop Wood missing the three, but the offensive rebound put back no good by Ajiri Johnson. And Johnson's another guy who really came on the scene last year. He's going to play at Rider University next year. What an electrifying, athletic big man for the Bonner Prendy Friars.
Yeah, Ajiri Johnson, he'd dunk on you just as soon as look at you. And he's one of the guys that gets up the quickest I've ever seen in years in covering high school basketball and college basketball when I covered it. He just has springs for legs.
And the Suburban team in the blue jerseys finally on the board as Sam Sessoms out of the Shipley School makes the bucket. And here's a three, and it's good for Mason Williams out of Penn Charter. And it's good to see some of these Interact players and the Friends League players come in and play in this game. We mentioned Sessoms and we mentioned Mason Williams as the attempted steal there, foul called on Ed Croswell of the city. Sessoms, I believe, is playing at Binghamton, if I'm correct. You know, he's a guy small in stature, but I have a feeling he's going to have a real chance to dominate a low-level major type of team in Division I like the America East Conference.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that I haven't gotten to see play a whole lot because I didn't cover the Friends School. But I watched early in the season, they played Archbishop Carroll. It was a game I wanted to see, but he got hurt and didn't play in that one. But his game, what I know of him and his reputation, he can flat out fill it up as we see him go in and try to lay it up.
Ooh, and he missed the layup and the follow-up slam from Ajiri Johnson. I have a feeling that's one of many here for Johnson. We already had a missed dunk, though, today from Justin Anderson of Carroll. This is a three from Kyle Thompson. And Kyle Thompson out of St. Joe's Prep. His father, Michael Thompson, played at Drexel, and this is a guy, he's small in stature, just like Sessoms, but he's another guy who really has the ability to score the basketball.
Yeah, Kyle can flat out fill it up on all three levels, from deep, from the mid-range. He can get to the basket. He's just a smooth basketball player.
Now, Ajiri Johnson just attempted a three from the top of the key. His coach, Jack Concannon, is in the building. I didn't see Ajiri Johnson take a jump shot from more than 15 feet all year. Maybe he's trying to show Ryder that he's got a little bit of range.
You know, it's funny. I saw Jerry shoot 1-3 early in the season this year, and that was the last one.
Oh, he's taking another one from the corner. Not even close. Rebound here by Mason Williams out of Penn Charter. Leaves it for Croswell. And Ajiri Johnson just lets him go by, and Croswell makes the bucket. And, of course, a lot of these guys on Division I scholarships, Division II players as well. Oh, Johnson with a thunderous slam. I was about to say, you don't want to see anybody get hurt, and I think that's why Johnson just let Croswell go by. Johnson with his second slam of the day.
Yeah, that's why defense is just sort of
not happening
is a
today.
rumor in games like these.
Well, don't tell that to Andrew Funk, the future Patriot League member, as the city team on the run, and that three missed by Christian Brown out of Samuel Fells High School in the public league. Kyle Thompson, the lob. And it's good. And it's 14-6 right now as I believe the city team here with the early lead. City team in orange, Suburbs in blue as a drive there.
For the 31st Annual All-Star Labor Classic as we come to you across the JAKIB Media Radio Network, broadcasting, of course, on News Talk 990. All of the proceeds raised from this incredible event being donated to Blossom Philadelphia. What an incredible job done by the entire Union community. I think it's the most powerful fundraising event in the city of Philadelphia, 31 years strong. The boys game will be getting started soon, and of course we'll have all of the action for you right here live on News Talk 990. You're listening to the 31st Annual All-Star Labor Classic as we come to you across the JAKIB Media Radio Network. Back in a moment.
The growing demand for highly trained and highly skilled workers in the construction trades has created a great educational opportunity for all public and private high school students. Go to Philadelphia Building Trades /education or call the Philadelphia Building Trades at 215-677-8500. The Philadelphia Building and Construction Trades Council has a great opportunity, a great job, and it comes with no school debt. Go to Philadelphia Building Trades /education or call the Philadelphia Building Trades at 215-677-8500.
Malvern Preparatory School, located in Malvern, Pennsylvania, is an independent Catholic Augustinian school for boys in grades 6 through 12. At Malvern Prep, they are committed to the Augustinian values of Veritas, Unitas, and Caritas, meaning truth, unity, and love. For over 175 years, their tradition has been to prepare young men for college, for leadership, and for life. At Malvern Prep, they educate their students in a caring environment focused on academics while maintaining balance among spirituality, arts, athletics, and activities. Malvern students learn today so that they may lead with integrity tomorrow. For more information, visit malvernprep.org.
We are a city full of fearless. You can feel it pedaling past history on an indigo bike, among the myriad of cultural events, and with the determination that carries you up rocky steps. Because we're a city that began with a sense of freedom and never looked back. And for nearly 80 years, Independence Blue Cross has supported that spirit, providing strength and security with the card most accepted by top doctors and specialists. Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless.
News Talk 990 AM. NewsTalk990.com.
And we welcome back everybody to the University of the Sciences as we broadcast you from Bobby Morgan Arena. It's the 31st.
Who has seen these players play all year long, and I'm talking about Aaron Ace Carter out of the Philadelphia Inquirer, who survived playing in the media game. So before we get into this game coming up, Ace, I want to welcome you in, and you got to play in that media game versus the Union team. You've done it, for the last few years. Talk about that game and what it's like to be a part of the 31st Annual All-Star Labor Classic.
Well, I'm not actually sure I survived. I'll let you know in the morning when I wake up tomorrow.
I will say, Ari, this. He hit a deep three ball at the buzzer to go into the half. I don't remember if they counted the three, but you counted the three. All right, good stuff.
Well, along with Aaron Ace Carter, I'm Ari Bluestein, our producer Joe Kraus, and Ace will hang out with us for a little bit here in the first half.
It's the 31st Annual All-Star Labor Classic, and again, I keep going back to that check presentation amount, $150,000, representing 100% of the proceeds that are generated from this basketball game today. All good stuff as we bring you the 31st Annual All-Star Labor Classic here this afternoon on News Talk 990 across the JAKIB Media Radio Network. We will take a break and come back with the start and the tip of the boys' All-Star game back in a moment.
Your Greater Philadelphia area Duncan is awarding a total of 25 $2,000 college scholarships to qualified high school seniors and current undergraduate college students around our region as part of their 10th annual Duncan Philadelphia Regional Scholarship Program. It's Duncan's way of helping you get your education running. To learn more and to apply for your chance to be a recipient, visit learnmore.scholarsapply.org/Duncan Philly. Applications will be accepted through April 15th. Apply today. America runs on Duncan.
Get ready for a city versus suburban showdown as the best of the best high school girls and high school boys basketball players compete in the 32nd Annual All-Star Labor Classic, presented by Philadelphia's Organized Labor. The All-Star Labor Classic has donated well over $3 million, with 100% of this year's proceeds supporting MS. Mark your calendars and don't miss it. Sunday, April 14th, the 32nd Annual All-Star Labor Classic, presented by Philadelphia's Organized Labor and being held at the Philadelphia College of Sciences.
And welcome back to the University of the Sciences, live here for the 31st Annual All-Star Labor Classic. I'm Ari Bluestein, and the boys All-Star game about to begin, but I bring in Aaron Ace Carter yet again here across the JAKIB Media Radio Network. And the great thing is, yes, it's a basketball game, but it's all about the charity in the end. We resume play here, and we're off and running as Sam Sessoms for the city team missing the layup. A couple players like Karan Randolph, we watched him develop at Haverford School, and as the opening bucket made there by the city team.
the way subs will work. There'll be timeouts specifically for substitutions, typically full house subs. Every now and then there'll be one player going in and out for another, but traditionally just 5 on the floor at a time playing in units here today.
And the guys are a little different where if they know they're going to the game, they'll be at the table within a second because they want to get as many minutes as they can out here.
The City squad wins the tip. They'll go right to left on your screen if you're watching the stream. And opening possession, good ball movement, a strong drive is blocked. Jack's Tricky out of O'Hara got the block. On the other end, James Welde leads the break, his layup too strong. And now the ball goes out of play, possession to the City squad.
Welde from Bonner Prendy. His dad was a member of the outstanding Monsignor Bonner teams in the middle 80s, along with Rodney Blake and Jack Kincannon, one of the best Catholic League teams ever. And his son's also a very good player.
City squad with the ball, looking for the opening bucket. That jump shot short on the baseline came off the hand of Jimmy King out of St. Joseph's Prep. Carl Schaller leads the Suburban team the other way. Fake jump shot, then a fadeaway for Justin Langen, but he misses off the back iron. Nazir Johnson leads the City squad the other way. A couple nice dribble moves at the right arc. He kicks, three-pointer left wing, rattles in. And that's Justin Langen from downtown. Oh, excuse me, that's John Donahue out of Archbishop Wood with a nice stroke from distance. Opening bucket goes to the team in red.
And finally, one of my predictions came true. Great three-pointer by John Donahue.
Yeah, Donahue, a player who, doesn't get that much attention because playing on an Archbishop Wood team this year that was loaded with talent, went all the way to the state finals at Hershey. But he's a sharp shooter, as on the other end, 3 off the mark. Rebound goes to Flood. He runs the floor and drops it off for Blythe, who lays it in for 2. Oh, I'm looking at, that's Hagan on the lay-in. 5-3 is the score right now with 18 minutes and 8 seconds to go in the first half. As this jump shot off the mark for Dom Vasquez. He thought he was fouled, doesn't get the call. Schaller brings the ball up for the boys of the Suburbs as Hagan goes on the drive, picks up his dribble in the low post, swings for 3, and Langen knocks it down.
Justin Langen from Garnet Valley. Nice shot.
8-3 lead for the Suburban boys team as Johnson launches a triple and has the answer.
Father Judge Nazir Johnson answers with a 3. We've seen that a lot over the last 3 years for Father Judge.
On the other end, a nice lay-in for Schaller, who got past the defense with a good crossover. But back to Nasir Johnson. He was 5th in the PCL, averaging 18.8 points per game. He could really score the ball.
Just a great kid, always plays hard, always has a smile on his face. He was a really great compliment to the Father Judge program.
Welde with an unselfish pass on the fast break to Langen for an easy layup. Suburban squad ahead 12-6. Johnson, deep step back 3, too strong. Rebound hauled in by Welde, who leads the break. Deep 3 on the other end for Schaller is short. Here's Johnson now. He splits the defense, kicks to a shooter, and that's knocked down by Dom Vasquez. Vasquez likes to get other players involved traditionally, but he can shoot it. 5th in the PCL in assists this year.
Great to see the Ryan and the Judge kids combining for a basket. Although the opposite of what they've done in a year, it's usually just in correction. I'm sorry, Nazir doing the scoring and Dom doing the passing, but good to see something in the All-Star game like that.
Meanwhile, an extra chance for the Suburban squad. Schaller knocks down an open triple from the top of the key as we go back and forth here. A 15-9 lead for the Suburban team. Johnson with a behind-the-back pass. It skips to Maloney, and his shot is blocked. As Jack's Tricky came out of nowhere, and he blocked, that was Don Vasquez on the layup. We'll stay on this side of the floor. Clock continues to run, 15 minutes, 48 seconds to play in the first half. Inbound comes up top to John Donahue, his 3 off the mark. Rebound hauled in by Johnson, though he can't make the layup.
Good steal by Nazir, just couldn't put it down. Suburban team back down court for a jumper.
Corner 3 from Jack's Tricky is too strong. Tricky listed at 6'7", a big man with a nice outside touch. As Vasquez has another shot punched, and Tricky has his shot timed. Jack's Tricky out of O'Hara with 2 blocks as a deep 3 by Vasquez hits the bottom of the front rim, and Tricky has the rebound. He leads the break. Hands off for Schaller. Carl Schaller to Tricky. Spins into the lane, leans for a fadeaway, no good. Johnson, pass up ahead. And now that's Vasquez who feeds Johnson, up fake, and lays it in. Beautiful footwork on the baseline by Nasir Johnson.
Nice dribble and drive from the basket.
Second team PCL selection in 2021 was Johnson as a beautiful layup on the other end. Carl Schaller put a little English on it and got a kind roll.
Nice shot. Going very well so far.
17-11, the Suburban team leads with 14 minutes and 16 seconds to play in the half as the pass intended for Michael Flash goes out of bounds for a turnover. Carl Schaller brings the ball across the timeline. Langen back to Schaller. NBA 3 is short. And Johnson secures the miss. Nasir Johnson into the paint. Lefty scoop shot, no good. Welde, baseball pass up ahead. Schaller nearly throws it in, but settles for the layup. A good take as the Suburban squad leads 19-11 with 13 minutes and 37 seconds to play in the half. Scoop shot on the other end, no good. Now a buzzer here, and that's for the first substitution timeout. So Welde's fast break opportunities taken away from him. I'll tell you what, James Welde, listed at 6'4", 220. He's committed to play at Villanova, but not basketball. He's a football player. That's a tight end running the floor.
I actually did one football game this year, and it was Bonner Prendy at Archbishop Ryan, and I didn't know he played football, and he was a very good two-way player for them. So not surprising he's going to go on and play football at the next level.
10 new players on the hardwood now as Eric Butler Jr. tries a triple and nets it. Butler Jr. out of Hatboro Horsham. And the Suburban squad, much like in the girls' game, has an early 11-point lead with 13 minutes. And Tricky hauls in a short jump shot, leads the break for the Suburban. Another 3 falls for Trey Roberts out of Cardinal O'Hara. Roberts with the bucket, and there's under 13 minutes to play in the half. A 25-11 lead for the Suburban team. Triple off the mark. That was tried by number 8 of the City squad as Butler Jr. hits the back iron, but the putback, whoa, what a follow. Trey Roberts nearly dunked it home, but was able to tap it in for 2. On the drive here on the other end is McNicholas. He kicks, and the jump shot off the mark. Rebound hauled in by Nelson. Pass inside for Tricky is too strong. He can't haul in, so a turnover goes to the City squad. The City boys team trails the Suburban squad 27-11 with 12 minutes to go here in the first half. And on the attack now is Justin Blythe. He kicks. Corner now, John Flood from Roman Catholic. Flood kicks for a 3, and that shot off the mark. Rebound went to Trey Roberts. He leads the break. 3-pointer off the mark. Roberts kicked to Nelson, but he was too strong. As Jimmy King swings, and now a 3-pointer is good. We've got a number 8 on the City squad that was crossed off our roster before the game. We want to clarify, make sure we have it right before we give you an inadvertent name. Our apologies for that. As a nice pocket pass inside from Radir Hicks to feed Tricky for a bucket. Radir Hicks, the Malvern Prep product. He helped turn the Friars around as we have a foul on the other end of the floor. And be a side out for the City squad. 10:48 to play in the first half. The Suburban team leads 29-14. Strong drive, but another block by Tricky. The rebound goes to Flood. And now a floater over Tricky, and it falls. Number 8 for the City
Nice
All-Stars going off right now.
We're starting to see him a little bit above the rim play, so.
On the other end, Eric Butler Jr. spins into the lane and draws a foul, so he'll head to the line. 13-point lead for the Suburban All-Stars with 10:26 to go in the first half. Chris Markowitz alongside Michael Gibson. As Eric Butler Jr. knocks down the first free throw. 2 for 2. No, excuse me. The free throw lips out at the last second, so Butler Jr. goes 1 for 2 on that trip. And it's possession to the City All-Stars as they trail by 14. 10:26 to play in the first half. John Flood rattles home a triple. Flood, a Roman Catholic product, and they went back to the PCL championship game this year. Lost to Archbishop Wood, but had a solid season as an easy layup on the other end for Trey Roberts. But speaking of Roman Catholic, Michael, they had such a good year after losing 2 top players in Jalen Duren and Justice Williams, as Tricky comes away with a steal for the Suburban squad. Tricky tries a step back 3, no good. And the rebound secured by the City All-Stars. Shane McNicholas with a touch pass. Now an open 3. Oh, passed up by Johnson. He head fakes. Good ball move. Product.
Part of the Fab 2.
Showing off the range. 35-22, the Suburban All-Stars lead with 9:09 to go here in the first half. Now a strong drive by that mystery number 8. His layup no good. Tricky with the rebound.
Radir Hicks hasn't shown no rust. The Interact didn't have a season this year, so it's good to see him getting right back into live action and not missing a step.
Tricky in the post, throws up a hook shot and it falls. Jack's Tricky with the bucket. It's a 15-point lead for the Suburban All-Stars as this three-pointer off the mark. The rebound hauled in by the City squad, but the second shot opportunity doesn't fall. Hicks quick to get down to the other end of the floor. Sizes up his defender, spins, kicks for an open 3, but it's an air ball from the corner. Nelson missed. Here comes the City squad down the other end. And in the corner now, that's Justin Blythe. He lost it out of bounds, but it got deflected, so we'll stay on this side of the floor. This first half eerily similar to what we saw in the girls' game, Michael, as it was the Suburban squad who was more in sync in that first half as well. Bucket is good. That was John Flood out of Roman Catholic who hit it from distance.
I swear sometimes these kids can hear us talking. They try to prove us wrong, but getting back to the Roman Catholic thing, what a great tradition and program for almost 100 years. It's incredible the amount of basketball talent that has come out of that program.
Fast break opportunity for the City squad. A 15-foot jump shot doesn't fall, but the putback for Shane McNicholas out of Archbishop Wood.
Talk about a program that rose up in the last few years at Archbishop Wood. Great coaches. John Moscow, one of the nicest people you'd ever meet in high school sports, and it was really good to see them have the success they've had over the last few years.
Missed 3 by the Suburban squad, so the City team has it as subs come out onto the floor with 7:21 to go here in the first half. This is a 10-point ball game. The Suburban All-Stars ahead 37-27. And to your point, wow, what a rise it's been for Archbishop Wood. Obviously highlighted by what Colin Gillespie's doing at Villanova, but there's been so many quality players to that program as a three-pointer falls by Michael Flash to make this a 7-point ball game.
I saw Michael Flack make that shot as a JV player to beat Father Jedge at the buzzer when he was a sophomore. So good to see he still has his shooting stroke.
Fadeaway jumper on the other end, no good for Hagan, but the putback falls. Eric Butler Jr. with another bucket. 9-point lead now for the Suburban All-Stars. 6:43 to play in the half as Vasquez cans a 17-foot pull-up. That's such a tough J. Eric Butler Jr. swings for Schaller. He goes to the top of the arc. Now drives, he kicks, and his pass on the baseline connects with Hagan, but his jump shot no good. The rebound to Eric Butler Jr. He brings it out to the corner, tries a three, and knocks it in. Eric Butler Jr. putting on a show today. 10-point lead for the Suburban All-Stars. 3 on the other end is short for Blythe. And on the other end, Eric Butler Jr. throws an alley, and whoa, what an acrobatic finish by Lang, and didn't dunk it, but readjusted in the air to lay it in.
Nice twist and turn, great pass, great teamwork.
12-point lead for the Suburban All-Stars with 5:52 to go in the first half. As here's Blythe, tries a pull-up three, and it rattles in. Justin Blythe out of Father Judge. He's a sharp shooter. Made 42 three-pointers this year, which was the second most in the Philadelphia Catholic League.
Yeah, they were a great guard tandem the last 2 years for the Crusaders. Both great kids. Looking forward to what they do in college in the future.
Butler Jr. missed a three, but on the air ball, Josh Hagan was Johnny on the spot, laid it back in for the deuce. Lead up to 11 for the Suburban All-Stars. As the answer off glass, but no good for Blythe. And here comes Eric Butler Jr. down the other end. He has a beautiful feed ahead, but the layup no good for Hagan. And whoa, what an acrobatic finish by Nasir Johnson. Went up with the right, brought it back down, and kissed it off the glass on the left side, looking like Kyrie Irving in the air.
Great play by Nasir. That's the kind of things that made him be a 1,000-point scorer.
Pull-up jumper for Schaller from 12, it falls. And Carl 4-3. Dom Vasquez cans a triple, and it's an 8-point ball game.
You can see why Coach Joe Zaglinski was a big fan of Dom Vasquez. Every time he would read an article, he just said he was the heart and soul of that team, and you can see why. Just does a little bit of everything.
Vasquez dished out 13 assists in Archbishop Ryan's PIAA 5A state semifinals win at Chester. As a couple layups off the mark for the Suburban squad. Rebound to Hagan, and he puts it in for 2.
It's funny, not getting as much coverage in the city. Archbishop Ryan beating Chester in the state semifinals was such a huge win for that program, and it's unfortunate it didn't get the publicity that it should have. But for them to get to the state final, their program has been on the rise for the last 3 years.
Not only did they beat Chester, they beat them at Chester's Place with a solid crowd in attendance. I had the call for that game as the three-pointer falls for Eric Butler Jr. He's unconscious today.
Sweet shooter. He's just playing in big gyms like this. Hepper Horsham's a nice-sized gym. He looks like not having any trouble lining it up.
Now Vasquez dances against 2 defenders, kicks to the corner. That's Trey Roberts. He swings up top. Johnson with a couple nice isolation dribbles, pulls up from 14 and leaves it short. Langan hauls in the rebound. Now he crosses the timeline, leads the break. The defense collapses, he kicks out for 3, and that's all net from the right corner. A beautiful stroke off the hand of James Welde. And the lead back up to 16 for the Suburban All-Stars. On the other end, Johnson too strong on the pull-up. And the rebound goes to Eric Butler Jr. 3 minutes to play in the half. Butler Jr. dances against Johnson, steps back for a long 3, and it's no good. Hit the side of the rim. Johnson into traffic, left hand, high off the glass. Nasir Johnson with the steal off the inbounds now. of the Suburban All-Stars with 2:20 to play in the half. This is a high-scoring affair as Vasquez tries a long three, but it's too strong, and the rebound secured by Langen. On the other end, Shawlin, right wing, goes on the drive against Vasquez, puts up a pump fake and lays it in high off the glass. 17-point lead for the Suburban squad, the largest of the day, as a step-back jumper on the other end falls for Thomas. Richard Thomas out of St. Joe's Prep is our mystery number 8 as a step-back answer, no good. Eric Butler hit the side of the rim. Pass up ahead for Thomas is hauled in, and he's guarded by Welde, so he kicks to the left corner. This three is pure. Whoa, that was hit by Donahue. He had a hand in his face. Didn't matter on the shot.
Big-time shot for a forward. That's not a guard making that shot. That was big time.
Scoreboard says it's 59-47 in favor of the Suburban team.
Kind of the same as the first game. You know, every time the city team gets close, they make a little bit of a run. But I think they're going to make this closer, if not at the end of this half, early in the second half.
Nasir Johnson kicks to the right corner. Triple on the way, and that fixes the net as it was stuck up, hanging on the rim. But Michael Flatch with no problem correcting it and making this a 10-point ball game. Nice run here by the city team to bring it back to a single-digit lead. As from the corner, Hagan can't hit. Excuse me, that was Langen. 45 seconds to go in the first half. Vasquez on the right elbow, kicks up top. Now in the corner, Flash to Vasquez. Left corner on the drive goes Donahue, and he's fouled. Clock stops with 32 seconds to play in the half.
Really good ball movement. Not rushing, even though it's the end of the half and are down a little bit. But it's good to see that teamwork. Maybe it'll pay off in the second half.
Flash inbounds. And that's Thomas. He tries a pull-up jumper. It's good from distance. And it's a 6-point ball game.
He wanted to make sure we got his name out there, so he kept hitting enough shots where we finally had to make sure we knew who he was. Great job, Richard Thomas from the Prep.
15 seconds to play in the half. Butler Jr. kicks right wing. That's Welde. Beautiful feed. And unfortunately, Butler Jr. couldn't catch it in stride. 5 seconds to shoot. The shot from Langen is pure. And that will take us to the half with the Suburban All-Stars ahead of the City squad, 62-53. We'll take a break. You're listening to the 34th Annual All-Star Labor Classic presented by the Philadelphia Building Trades across the JAKIB Media Network.
I get scared sometimes.
Of a lot of things.
Okay, Walt.
Decisions.
Walt, you there?
The dark.
Okay, we got a halftime check presentation again. That's going to happen here live during the boys' game.
As long as you face the fear.
And keep moving forward.
Welcome to the Wildwoods, the perfect place where you can safely do everything or nothing at all. Catch a wave, take a nap, go for a drive, grab a bite. It's your vacation, and we're doing everything we can to make it a safe one. The Wildwoods. Your vacation, your way.
Walt, you can bring me up when I'm ready. And we're back here live at Ridley High School as we broadcast you the 34th Annual All-Star Labor Classic. We're right in the middle of the check presentation. Wayne Miller on the microphone along with Allison Kostiuk. $150,000 was raised and donated by this, the 34th Annual All-Star Labor Classic. They did this presentation, ceremonial presentation during the girls' game, and now doing it in front of the boys' game as well, as the All-Stars contribute to what has been just an unbelievable effort. We are at halftime of the boys' game, the Suburban boys versus the City boys. Good basketball game, high scoring is what's happening in front of us for this game. Chris Markowitz, Mike Gibson bringing you all of the action. Chris, I'll jump to you for just a moment, and then we're going to do a special presentation here. But high flying, man. I told you the pregame, get the popcorn, brother.
It was certainly high flying, up and down action, 62-53. Not sure if this is an NBA game we're watching right now. A lot of scoring in that first half. Some great players out on the floor, Michael.
They're way ahead of the normal pace, even for an all-star game. But it's funny, they're all playing defense. It's just you got guys making unbelievable athletic plays, and it's going to be a great second half.
Well, I know we've got something special to talk about, so I'm going to throw it back down to the sideline where Krause's waiting. Joe, what do you got for us?
Yeah, and Michael, I want you to join in with me, and Sean, who's working the game, if you can use that photo and bring that photo up if you have it. If not, that's okay. Michael, we have a very, very special presentation of the game ball from the girls' game that was played today, and then we will also award the game ball signed by all of the athletes that have participated in this, the 34th Annual All-Star Game. Our good friend Dennis Hill, who was not able to be here.
Fifth Annual Labor Classic.
Amazing.
And we miss you this year, brother. We all love you. And the Philadelphia community and Labor Classic, we wish you the best and get back to health.
Well done, well stated. Let me get Sean. Sean, if you can bring me up on camera here for just a moment. I want to be able to show the listening audience and those watching across the JAKIB Media channel on YouTube the Game 1 game ball from the Suburban girls versus the City girls, all autographed, all signed by all of the participants who played in the game today. And then, of course, Mike, the boys who are playing in the game today, they will sign all of the, sign the official game ball, and we will present that to Dennis Hill. On behalf of everyone, Dennis Hill, we salute you with a game ball. Get well soon, brother. Chris, back to you, sir.
Thank you, Joe. That's well said and perfect timing. We are moments away from second half action here. So a nice little tribute to Dennis there. And I'll tell you what, the way that these teams are playing, I hope he's enjoying it. This has been some fun up and down action. I love seeing high scoring basketball.
Yesterday when I spoke to him, I thought he would just have the game on the radio because it is a hospital. He said, I got it on my phone on YouTube. I'll be watching for a minute. So I'll guarantee we'll get some critiques on our performance. But he's such a great basketball person that I knew from a different, from a job-related thing years ago. But then I got reacquainted with him over the last 10 years. He recognized our Hallahan girls the first year the Markwood clubs honored girls at their banquets, and because we were the oldest girls' school in the country, and they added girls teams after that. And you know, most times if it's a guy thing and it kind of stays that way, and Dennis wanted to include girls high school basketball, and it's been such a help, not only for the girls that get to play today because they all receive $500 to their college destination, but the Markwood Club, when they recognize these players, you know, some coaches hear about them that might not have known about them, and you get kids that are getting scholarships because of what Dennis Hill provides. So again, Krause said it great, but once again, Dennis, we're all with you, and we can't wait to have you back here next year.
And we hope you enjoy some second half action here as we're just about ready to get things started. Nasir Johnson takes the inbound from Justin Blythe as the City All-Stars go left to right to start the second half. They trail 62-53. Johnson into the low post. Beautiful baseline feed, but the layup is missed. Had a man, it looked like Donahue, but he couldn't convert. That was actually McNicholas. Now a whistle for a foul on the other end. They get the foul on John Flood. It's his first, team's first of the half. And since we're in an all-star game, what's been nice about this today, Michael, is not a lot of fouls today. The whistles have been relatively silent.
That's the way I think it should be all the time. To me, it should almost be called like soccer, even though I'm a basketball purist. If it doesn't impede the play, just let it roll. You want to see the kids get to exhibit their skills.
The Suburban team just turned it over, so the City squad with the basketball is Blythe on the drive, drops it off, but it's too low for McNicholas to haul in.
And that being said, I'd like to add that these officials volunteer their time. Sometimes it's different ones every year, but they donate their time for this game every year. You know, it's a Sunday afternoon. They're taking time away from their family because they believe in the Labor Classic. So hats off to them and the entire officiating organization for what they do throughout the year.
Nasir Johnson just scored a lefty layup. Johnson out of Father Judge. We've talked about him a couple times. A talented scorer, one of the top 5 in the Philadelphia Catholic League. Radir Hicks, no good on a long triple. And Hicks is a player out of Malvern Prep who is a talented defender. Malvern, for the first 3 years of his career, had Deuce Turner playing alongside him. Now, Malvern this year didn't play that many games. They played a couple interact games, but Hicks, you know, he assumed the majority of the offensive role and bulked up in the offseason, hit the weight room, and just in preparation of his college career, wanted to add a couple pounds. That was a goal of his, and he accomplished that this offseason. As Nelson swings on the offensive end for the Suburban squad, three-pointer off the mark. Tricky can't haul in the rebound, so it goes to Blythe. Blythe leads the City team onto the offensive end of the floor. 18 minutes to play. They trail 62-55. Corner 3 on the way, and that's no good. Hit both sides of the rim, but did not fall. Hicks with a pull-up jumper, hits the front iron, but the putback by Tricky on the follow.
Jack's Tricky might have one of the best names we've ever had in the Labor Classic.
It's Tricky as a corner 3 is off the mark. Yeah, there's a lot you could do with a name like Tricky. A lot of ways you could play with that, as this running layup falls, but it won't count. The foul on Trey Roberts happened before the play.
And he's got the first name of Jax. Like, you can't have a Robert Tricky. It just doesn't, you know, Jax is, whoever named him, if that's his full name or it's his a short name or a nickname, it's a pretty cool name. One that you remember.
Inbound goes to Hicks on the right wing. He spins, steps back. Oh, what a beautiful up fake, and can't get the layup. His putback no good. Gets another miss, though, and puts it in. Radir Hicks relentless on the glass as it's an 11-point lead for the Suburban squad.
A strong, strong play.
17 minutes to play as, ball goes out of play on the baseline. Trey Roberts tried to keep it in and get the steal, but it will stay with the City squad. Inbound comes into the corner to Johnson. Johnson drives on the baseline, lost the ball, guarded well by Hicks, and the Suburban squad turns it over, had it for a moment, as Jimmy King lays in the lefty scoop shot.
A high-flying Jimmy King of St. Joseph's Prep.
King, a two-sport athlete, also plays shortstop for St. Joe's, as a layup on the other end for Mike Nelson is good. Lead back up to 11 for the Suburban team with 16 minutes and 4 seconds to go. Fadeaway jump shot, gets the bounce. Jimmy King heating up. He was a second-team All-PCL selection this year. Played under first-year head coach Jason Harrigan after Speedy Morris retired. Answer on the other end. Hicks drains a triple.
Jason Harrigan, another one of our great young coaches in the Catholic League and a great person. Good to see his player doing well.
But the answer for Jimmy King. He goes right back at Radir Hicks. Has an answer from deep. The Suburban lead up to 71-62 with 15 minutes and 28 seconds to play. Tricky tries his luck from distance, and it's no good. Johnson leads the break, kicks, has an open man, and Flood no good from downtown. Roberts up ahead. There's Hicks. He drives the lane and throws in the finger roll. Thought he was going to slam it. He wanted to.
Thought we were going to have our first slam of the game.
You haven't had a slam dunk just yet. I got a feeling, though, in the final 3 or 4 minutes of this one, they might just clear the lanes and start going after those.
Well, they're playing good D for an all-star game, like I said. I always say it's the last game these guys are going to play is their high school, represent their high school. I think they take a little bit more pride in their D than they would in a normal all-star setting.
Nasir Johnson was fouled on a baseline drive, so this will be an inbound for the City All-Stars from the baseline. It goes to Johnson in the right corner. He tries a step-back three, and it's long. Tricky tapped the rebound but couldn't haul it in. King picks it up off the floor and gets fouled by Tricky. 14 minutes and 23 seconds to go with the Suburban All-Stars ahead 73-62. Inbounds comes to the back court where Nasir Johnson kicks up ahead for Blythe. Blythe on the left wing, drives the lane and drops it off. Good pass, and the finish falls for Shane McNicholas. That's a strong take inside.
Great play by Nicholas. He's had a very well-rounded game for the City guys.
On the other end, Hicks kicks to the corner. Three-pointer rattles home. And that was Mike Nelson as a timeout taken. And this will be a substitution timeout with 13 minutes and 49 seconds to go.
Mike Nelson from Ridley with a nice shot there.
Playing one last time in his home gym. And 10 new players on the floor here in the second half. Vasquez will bring the ball up for the City All-Stars. Vasquez breaks down his defender, now swings. And the layup off the mark, that was Trey Roberts. Excuse me, that was Mike Flash. Flash unable to throw it down as an alley-oop. No good. Hicks was targeting Roberts, or Butler Jr., excuse me. And now a couple missed layups by the Suburban team. But the ball goes out of play. We'll stay on this side of the floor.
I think you're right. Now we're going to see a little bit more loosiness, if that's a good word, in the last 12, 13 minutes.
Well, I'm all for it. As Schaller tries an NBA distance three and leaves it short on an air ball. Carl Schaller, he led Garnet Valley to their first ever Central League title this year. He's a two-time Central League MVP, and he's committed to play college ball at Gettysburg. Three-pointer is pure as it rattles home for Richard Thomas. He's had a good game here today.
Very well. He's done a lot of things well, offensively and defensively.
Fadeaway jump shot on the baseline, no good for Butler Jr. as the City boys unable to get an easy layup on the fast break, so they settle into the half court. On the drive, Vasquez spins, pump fakes, and then drops in a pass for his man Flood, but he misses the layup, and the miss is secured by Hagan. Strong drive for Schaller, and he gets the roll. Carl Schaller, an undersized guard, but he's such a talented scorer as Vasquez goes right at him with a step-back jumper, but can't hit.
And the Garnet Valley duo have had, both of them had good days.
Schaller from the corner, well defended, so he kicks. Radir Hicks now. Excuse me, that was Hicks. This three-pointer off the mark for Hagan. And on the other end, Flood tries a layup and doesn't get the roll. 11 minutes, 42 seconds to play. Suburban All-Stars ahead 78-66. Three-pointer for Butler Jr. is short. And the floorboard secured by John Flood. Vasquez, left arch, gets a screen, goes around it. Into the lane, lowers the shoulder, steps back, no good off glass. Butler Jr. throws up a floater, and it falls. Eric Butler Jr. out of Hatboro Horsham. I couldn't find if he's committed anywhere, but this kid can play. As the answer on the other end falls for Richard Thomas.
Richard Thomas, probably part of that Fab 2 from St. Joseph's Prep, along with Jimmy King.
They scored it a 3 on a step back for Thomas as it's an 80-69 lead for the Suburban squad. Travel called on Butler Jr., who spun into the post. 10:45 to play here in the second half. Thomas across the timeline, sizes up his defender. Now he kicks outside. That's Donahue. He goes on the drive, stops, pops, but misses off the side iron. Hicks, right wing, hesitation dribble, pump fakes, spins, fades, and knocks it down. Whoa, Ridley Hicks with every move in the book and all net on the fadeaway. 82-69 is the lead for the Suburban All-Stars as Vasquez is hand-checked, so that will stop the action.
When you get a chance.
And we talked a little bit about Kevin Kelly of Ridley, who's coaching the Suburban squad today. Sean Tate coaching the city team, the head coach of Father Judge, and he's done an excellent job coaching, not just here today, but in his time at Father Judge, as an alley-oop goes for a nice layup, Hicks to Schaller.
Sean played under the legendary Bill Fox Jr., longtime coach of Father Judge, and Coach Fox is battling some health issues right now, and just like Dennis, the Philadelphia community and the Labor Classic would like to extend best of health and well wishes to Coach Fox of the Father Judge Crusaders.
Fancy play as Eric Butler Jr. threw a alley-oop, off glass to Schaller, who laid it in for a layup. Three-pointer on the other end, no good for the city squad. And now a pass up ahead by Hicks leads Langen in for an open layup. It's a 19-point lead now for the Suburban All-Stars with 9:06 to play in the game. Vasquez, long three, short. Rebound goes to Richards, and Richard Thomas, lays it in. So the game a little bit out of hand here lead-wise as the Suburban All-Stars are ahead 88-71. Pull-up jumper for Schaller is too strong. Hicks battles for the rebound and secures it. Hicks on the right wing, drives, lefty layup, no good, but the rebound goes to Hagan and he knocks down the fadeaway.
He's had a nice game today also.
On the other end, a righty layup, for Richard Thomas. That was a pretty take as he used his body to shield the defender and put it high off the glass. 90-73, the Suburban All-Stars lead as a three by Butler Jr. no good. This is a high-scoring game. Vasquez into the lane, righty layup, too strong, rebound by Flood. Baseline drive Donahue, he drops it off, and that's a good feed for Flash, who lays it in. Mike Flack with the layup, and it's a 15-point lead now for the Suburban All-Stars. Hicks steps back for three, no good off the back iron. And the ball goes out of play, last touched by Michael Flack. Subs coming onto the floor for both teams here. 7:37 to play, as it's a 90-75 lead for the Suburban team. And we've seen a lot of talent today on the floor, as Ridley Hicks has made some tough buckets. Eric Butler Jr. doing his thing for the Suburban team. Carl Schaller as well. Here's Schaller, fade away from 14, and he cans it. Carl Schaller showing off the moves today as it's a 17-point lead for the Suburban All-Stars with 7:19 to play. On the other end, corner triple is pure, and that was Jimmy King who knocked it down.
Back-to-back Richard Thomas, Jimmy King from the prep, representing well.
Schaller speeds in for an easy layup, so he's got an answer.
They're not the only duo. The Garnet Valley kids are playing great as a duo also. Both excellent games today.
Yeah, Langen has really stepped up here today as a three on the other end falls for Nasir Johnson, and he is not missing many shots today.
And he gets a low five from number 7, Mike Nelson of Ridley. Pretty cool.
6:40 to play in the second half. Step back jumper, no good for Schaller from three as Johnson gets into the lane and his layup no good. Rebound goes to James Welde. On the other end of the floor now, good feed. The layup no good for Nelson, but he's fouled. Set up on the play by Trey Roberts. And we'll send it down to the sideline for a quick hit with Joe Kraus. Joe, what do you got for
Yeah,
us?
just a quick break in the action here while they take a short break. 6 minutes, 23 seconds to play. Coming up after the game concludes, we'll have our athlete of the game, and we'll interview him. You guys will get an opportunity to talk to one of the players. And just one more reminder for the listening audience, $150,000 check raised from this basketball game. The very best athletes in the city and the suburbs come together for the 34th annual All-Star Labor Classic. Chris, back to you.
Joe, thank you so much, as it's a 1-for-2 trip to the line for Mike Nelson. And what Joe just said there, Michael, $150,000 raised. What an event, and that's really what this is all about.
Especially during, obviously, can't be repeated enough, such a difficult year for everybody. The fact that you could raise that kind of money for such a great cause says a lot to the people that run the Labor Classic. So many good people involved, the building trades union people that are involved, the players and their coaches. To raise $150,000 on a normal time is awesome. To do it this year, just incredible. So it says a lot about our basketball community.
6:04 to play in the second half. I'm so used to high school basketball, as it's a 95-83 lead for this Suburban team, but Jimmy King has something to say about that. He nets a jumper, and it's a 10-point game.
I feel like I'm watching a 30-for-30 on the Fab Five with Jimmy King scoring at will.
I'll tell you what, that's a good 30-for-30 as an answer on the other end on a three-point shot by Trey Roberts. And as Joe mentioned, we'll have an interview with our player of the game after. But the way that all these kids are playing, it's going to be hard to decipher who we should talk to. A lot of talent on the floor, as strong drive by Trey Roberts, and he is fouled.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It's been very spread out, the good play. You could pick anybody on both teams. Everybody had their moments today. So that's what an all-star game should be. So that's great to see for the kids.
Well, after the girls' game, we had the chance to talk to Amaris Baker out of Cardinal O'Hara, who had such a great game today, and what a great career for O'Hara. They won the state title at the 5A classification this year. She's headed to Kennesaw State next year in Georgia to play college ball, and what a bright future for her. Is a player from South Philly originally who woke up every morning at 6 in the morning to put shots up, and that's the kind of stories you love to hear.
And such a great attitude. When you asked her what she did to make her left hand stronger, she said, "My dad said I couldn't do it, so I practice it." And I think too many times somebody gets told they can't do something, and they just decide, okay. And she decided, well, I'm going to show you I can do it. So I think it's just going to lead to good things for her in her high school career. We will definitely be hearing and seeing more of her in the future.
Shane McNicholas is at the line right now for the City squad. He hits the first as they trail 98-86 with 5:26 to play here in the second half. McNicholas with a 2-for-2 trip there. The senior out of Archbishop Wood. And Wood, it looked like they were going to win it all this year. They were favored. Lost a tough one, though, to the Cathedral Prep in the finals at Hershey, as Schaller lays in a bucket on the other end. And the Suburban team hits 100 points. They can barely fit it on the scoreboard as Vasquez's jump shot is off the mark. We still have 5 minutes to play in this one, so high-scoring affair as Schaller cans the layup and one. Carl Schaller putting on a show.
And I believe Ari promised us free french fries if anybody scores 100 points. So, Ari, if you're listening, and also Colin Gillespie, if you're listening, or anybody from West Ridgewood, will you please tweet or text Jess Poulin so you don't make Michael Gibson, the announcer, look like an absolute fool? Thank you.
That would be pretty cool. That'd be nice. Hope that everything's going well with Colin as well, and that he's recovering. Excited to see what he could do next year potentially for the Villanova Wildcats.
I second that. Great get well to Colin from the Labor Classic people, and we're looking forward to see you for another year as a Villanova Wildcat.
Three-pointer off the mark by Justin Blythe. 4 minutes, 43 seconds to go. The Suburban All-Stars ahead, 102-87. As a layup falls for Welde. 17-point lead now for the Suburban squad as Johnson goes on the drive, fakes a shot, lays it in, but a foul before that. 4:20 to play here in the second half. Schaller drives against Vasquez, pump fakes, kicks up top. Top of the arc three-pointer is all net. Welde putting on a show.
Good to see him ending his career. As you said, he's going to move on to Villanova for football. So it's good to see him end his basketball career on a good note.
Johnson to Vasquez. Oh, the extra feed, and the slam is missed. McNicholas tried to send it home on a jam, but he couldn't, as Tricky misses the layup on the other end.
I think he's going to hear that from his Archbishop Wood teammates, unless he throws this one down.
Oh, he misses another, and he drops his head in disgust. That's just a tough moment, but he's laughing about it.
Can't dunk if you don't try.
Now Schaller with the acrobatic layup on the other end. And some nice sportsmanship as Verdier Hicks gives a high five to Shane McNicholas. At least he tried. 109-87, the Suburban All-Stars lead with 3:25 to go as a layup falls for Johnson. And now on the other end, Welde misses the slam. So a couple tries here. No one has been able to get the rim rattler yet, though. And if I had to bet my money on somebody, I would think someone like Welde, a tight end, wide receiver, big body, used to going up in the air, would get one down, but you don't know.
Don't sell Schaller short. He's done everything else today well. That would be amazing if he could throw one down to end the game.
Vasquez tried a dunk, didn't get it. Here's Tricky, and he misses one. The 6'7" Jack's Tricky unable to get the slam. And the defense has stopped as Vasquez gets it to crawl in. I don't know if I'm going to count that one. Hit the front rim and bounced in. Still impressive how high he gets up, though, for a player.
Great basket, Dom.
This is turning into a dunk contest.
Hey, you know, both teams played hard. Let them have a little bit of fun.
And Schaller with the first slam. I don't think Carl Schaller's at 6 feet, but he throws it in. They cleared the lane for him, and Carl Schaller with the emphatic dunk.
I finally got one thing right today. Great job, Carl Schaller, with the slam.
Johnson! Ooh, this is fun. One-hand slam, and it's a dunk contest throughout. 111-93 is the score in favor of the Suburban boys, but we're just watching them throw it down right now.
Sold Nazir for 3 years at Father Judge. I did not see him dunk in his career, even though he gets up there pretty high, but what a great basket.
Don Vasquez throws himself an alley, but gets blocked by the front rim. Love the creativity. As here's Tricky with nobody back, and he traveled. And now after the play, he tries to throw one home. $1:44 to go. This is where things get fun. And this is what the kids are here for. It's just to have fun. It's an all-star setting.
Yeah, you competed the whole game. You know, go out with a little bit of fun. Like I said, it's the last time these guys are representing their high school, so everybody wants to get in on the fun. Nazir Johnson, I'm not shocked that he could do that, but that shows his athleticism. What a great leaper he showed right there.
I was surprised that Carl Schaller got the first dunk today. I don't even know if he's listed at 6 foot. I'd love to see what his official listing is. Schaller, a great athlete.
And that wasn't a cheap either.
No.
That was a throwdown, so yeah.
He got up there. I could learn a thing or two from him, try to increase my vertical a few inches. 1:44 to play as we have 10 new players on the floor, so a couple new athletes with a chance to put some highlights together. Oh, a half-court heave almost here for Richard Thomas. Hits the back iron off the glass and doesn't fall. And now we'll see as the PA announcer gets into it. And this slam off the mark for Butler Jr.
Good to see PA Mark Carfagno, longtime sports guy, just having some fun over there. What a great guy.
Shane McNicholas finally able to punch one through. He had a couple tries earlier in the game. Gets one to go down.
That'll quiet his fellow Wood Vikings.
Langen, one hand, but it's no good. Hit the back iron and lipped out. 1:02 remains in the game. The clock is stopped for a substitution. John Donahue misses with one hand. And
when we were younger in high school, we used to take an upside-down shopping cart to our schoolyard, and we used to dunk over there. So I can't knock anybody for not being able to dunk.
Trey Roberts couldn't get it to go for the Suburban team. Here comes, on the other end, Flood. Oh, he nearly got it to fall, but no good. And 32 seconds left on the clock As this slam off the mark by Butler Jr. heads towards our booth. Nice hands by Joe Krause here in the corner. They keep the clock moving.
If Krause didn't have a suit on, he could have thrown it down.
I'll throw that down once in a while. I'll be calling Butler out in the driveway tonight after the game.
Donahue, no good with one hand. And I think that's going to do it. As the buzzer sounds. And the final score, the Suburban All-Stars 111. The City Squad 95.
Nothing wrong with that. Have a little bit of fun at the end.
Some fun action at the tail end of the boys All-Star game. We saw some great performances today by a whole host of players. I was blown away, though. You know, so many names today, but Carl Schuller really caught my attention.
He made so many good plays, offensive, defensively, passed the ball, handled the ball. I mean, he like you said, a little surprising. He did have a great career at Garden Valley, but he played really well today.
Nasir Johnson, a player you're familiar with, out of Father Judge, he had a great showing today as well for the City Squad.
Of course, and especially after a disappointing season for the Crusaders, it was good to see him come out here and have some fun against some top-flight competition. So I think we'll see more in this year in the future in college.
Dom Vasquez, he showed off some of his skills today. He's such a great player, great ball handler, good shooter. He really can facilitate at the guard position.
Yeah, when he lost his effectiveness when the game got kind of out of hand in the last 4 minutes, that's not what he does. So, yeah, but it was good to see the kids have some fun at the end of the game.
And Radir Hicks out of Malvern Prep hitting a lot of fadeaway jump shots, pull-up jump shots, played well defensively in spots. He's going to Towson next year in the CAA, so not too far. He'll be back in the Philadelphia area when he plays against Delaware and Drexel, so he's somebody that we could follow throughout his college career as well.
It'll be good to see him. Yeah, it's always nice when you do this game, and then the next couple of years you see the guys playing in college that you got to announce, and it makes it kind of fun to see them on TV.
And the player of the game that we're going to interview out of Hatboro Horsham is Eric Butler Jr., who will join us in just a moment on the sideline. He is with Joe Krause. Joe, Eric, what's going on down there, guys?
Good stuff, Chris. Thank you so much. So glad to bring Eric Butler into the post-game interview. Eric, you know, when we talked to you earlier in the week and we met some of the All-Stars, the thing that stuck out most about our interview was your talk about showing up and playing, and you showed up today in an All-Star game and played really, really well. Chris?
Well, Eric, I got to ask you, man, I mean, you're hitting threes off the jump, pulling up for some big shots. What was your mentality coming into this All-Star game with so much talent on the floor?
You got to stand up. Everybody out here got selected the same way I did. You know, you got to separate yourself. So,
looking ahead to the future, what are your plans headed into next year? Any decision yet in terms of where you're going for school?
I'm undecided. It's still in the air, but, you know, opportunities come. You know, I'll be in college.
I'll be sending out this game tape in case we need to help create an opportunity. What a great job today, Eric Butler. It was fun to have you on our Meet the Athletes broadcast this week, and great job watching you play today.
Thank you.
All right, good stuff. That's Eric Butler. Chris, let me come back to you and Mike for the recap. Come back to me one more time, if you will, for the last talk about the check.
Eric, thank you so much. Joe, thank you so much. And Michael, we're hanging on at the tail end here. Final score once again, the Suburban Squad 11, the City Squad 95. That doesn't really matter, though. They weren't playing to win a game here. They were playing to have some fun and show their skills here today. And I'm just so happy, not just with how the boys' game went, but with how both games went in general and all the money that was raised because of this event. They really do a great job. 34 years in a row now. The 34th Annual All-Star Labor Classic, and what a great event here this year.
All the money that's being raised, like I said, in a difficult year. And then when you hear the interviews of the player of the game and the girls and the boys, both of them very humble, just saying, hey, I just worked hard to play. And it's just great to see that. It's not about themselves. They were here representing their school for their last time, and I think it showed up in their performance of both the female and the male players. So great job by everybody involved. It's always a game I look forward to being involved with.
And great job by the broadcast crew today, Chris Markowitz, Mike Gibson, bringing it home, the 34th Annual All-Star Labor Classic. Mike Gibson, just so you are aware, I got a great phone call from Dennis W. Hill, and he is so appreciative of your efforts and of picking himself up 2 new game balls. He promised me that he will carry both game balls to to the 35th Annual All-Star Labor Classic, and he will walk into the gymnasium 1 year from now. So great stuff.
Well, that'll be something that we will all look forward to see. So, Dennis, once again, get well from all of us, and we can't wait for that moment, and we will see you sooner than that. But get well, my friend.
That's going to bring a close to the 34th Annual All-Star Labor Classic. On behalf of the Philadelphia Building Trades, on behalf of Wayne Miller, on behalf of AFL-CIO President Pat Eiding, on behalf of John Dougherty. Doc, you've done it again. That's going to do it for today's live broadcast. Chris Markowitz, Mike Gibson, bringing you all the live action. Don't forget you can watch at your leisure if you missed any of the game, as we'll keep it up on the YouTube channel for eternity until we replace it with the 35th Annual All-Star Labor Classic. I leave you with this. We talked about $150,000 being donated. We talked about 34 years. I want to close the broadcast with one more fast fact for the listening audience. Every athlete that participates in this game, girls and boys, 40 total, right, every year, receives a scholarship award from the Philadelphia Building Trades at $500. Now, multiply 40 times 500. Multiply that by 33 years, because the pandemic year there was no basketball game. And that total goes on top of the $3 million plus that was donated and raised by the Building Trades. Pretty great stuff. On behalf of everyone who was part of the Annual Labor Classic, I'm Joe Kraus. See you next time, everybody.